What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Almost Never podcast, the most prolific podcast of 2024. You heard it here first. Today, we're talking about Gypsy Rose, Midjourney, trigger warning for the Epstein Files that we're going to be discussing later. We're going to be talking about the Katt Williams interview on Shay, the Tetris kid, how to set goals for yourself in the new year. And we're also going to be talking about the new Chappelle stand-up. You can catch us on every major social media platform at Almost Never Pod on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify.
Call us an idiot?
Yeah, he's like, you guys are a bunch of idiots. I was like, thanks, we try.
It was like thoroughly enjoyed.
I mean, I'm not a genius.
Well, nobody is.
Stephen Hawking.
Allegedly a genius.
Allegedly a lot of things.
He can't tell us. He
He couldn't ever.
can't come back and let us know.
Digitally.
Digitally? You think he's been uploaded?
I don't see why he's not. Welcome, everybody, to the Almost Never podcast, the only podcast in existence for the year 2024. I don't think there's any other podcasts out right now.
I haven't heard of.
I've never even heard of podcasting.
All the DSPs I checked, there's no other ones.
We're getting closer. We're up to 30 now. Or
This
29.
American Life, this Normal Gossip, Barstool. There's no other podcast. It's just us. I
Call
believe.
Me Daddy's gone, right?
As far as I know,
I think Caller Daddy's been gone for,
I think Call Me Daddy's still there.
maybe. Some might say.
No. There's nothing else. Nothing else exists.
Nothing else.
Welcome to the episode, everybody. I'm your co-host, your illustrious co-host, Josh.
I'm your luminous co-host, Trey.
I'm in the Illuminati. Sean.
Sean Illuminati.
Illuminati.
This is it's a wonderful, brisk winter day in Los Angeles.
I must say it's really lovely. It's beautiful today. You could see the mountains. It was blue skies. Yeah. Good job, nature. Good job.
Thanks.
We did it.
Thanks, God.
We did it.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah, it is LA, so guns are out. So it's first episode of the
It
year.
is
I
first of
believe.
the year.
Yeah,
Wow,
first
dude.
of
It's
the
been
year.
It's already been an eventful year, to be honest with you, dude.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good, I'd say. It's been a bit busy, trying to learn a little more balance in my life, I think. Going from the New Year's resolutions that Sean doesn't believe in, but I'm trying to see him through. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How was your? Did we see each other after New Year's or no? This is the first time.
Nope, first time.
How was your New Year's?
We not seen it? Wow, that's weird.
Well, it was only a few days ago.
I suppose so.
Yeah, it was last week.
I didn't make. I fell asleep. I didn't make it New Year's.
I mean, you did make it, but
I did.
you were unaware.
Maybe I don't know. That's all. Could
Did you hear about all the? Did you guys have a lot of bullets being shot out here?
I assume, but I was out and about on New Year's Eve. Did you do anything?
Stay kind of local, but yeah, I went out and about for a bit, but was back home for the countdown. But
Oh, you wasn't with the IE homies?
but what I was going to say is
Is that a little shade towards them? You didn't want to spend them with the buddies?
no, I think that everyone. I think it was that year. I think everybody was kind of.
Everybody's low key.
done?
I think they were because what's Eric and Vanessa, their kids' birthdays, New Year's Eve. So it's like they did the family. Everyone was kind of. They got a lot of children out there.
No, Roger MK little thing, little shit.
No. I think they all did a Christmas thing that I opted out of.
So you were saying that there's some guns?
Well, that's what I was saying because I heard from I think in L.A. and then some other major city in the nation, it was just overwhelming. A lot of people shooting guns into the air where they were bullets were hitting everywhere. A street was just riddled with bullets. Cars were punctured and stuff.
Well,
That's
when I used to
it was crazy.
live in Hyde Park, I would hear a lot of that, but not specifically on New Year's and 4th of July. But yeah, tis a celebration. I was out with Neil, Marlene, and Ryan. Shout out Ryan! Listen to his first episode.
Shout
of the
out.
pod.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he listened to his first episode. I would say he had the audacity to ask to become a guest, and he'd never listened to an episode. I didn't want to say it because we've talked about him before, and he's never
He was around during
given me any comments or that was funny or anything, and so I was like, that's a little I didn't want to make any assumptions, you know. I guess in 2023, trying to make less assumptions about things.
Assume nothing.
But I was out with them, went sushi.
How was that, Sush?
It's good. It's good, decent spot. Kombu. Have you been?
No,
Silver Lake, the OG spot, because they got one in Arts District now too.
I don't think so. Maybe I.
That was good. A lot of sushi, a lot of sake, some Asahi.
What's your roll of choice?
I don't really know. I'm like
I'm
like pretty American. I go rainbow roll just because I want to have a little
It's
bit
of
good
it all.
flavor. Yeah.
Because the rainbow it has a little like some fish, some
It's like
crab.
every
It's
cut,
like
right?
it's like tuna,
Salmon.
maybe salmon, maybe some other stuff.
I think
I'm
it's
not
tuna,
very
salmon,
educated.
albacore, and red
You got-
snapper.
just red.
Oh, okay.
Red
I just
stuff.
know the colors. It's pink, red, and like a white one.
You're right.
And
Yeah.
it does because hence the rainbow.
Red boy, that white boy.
The red
Salmon
I like
boy.
a crunch. I'm a crunch boy.
I do
Little
like
shrimp.
crunch. Like I usually get like a crunchy one,
Like
and
a
then like
tiger?
a
That's a crunch,
traditional
right?
thing.
Damn,
yeah.
you guys are getting me into wanting sushi
hungry
now.
now?
I'm so hungry. I was not until
Triggered.
this very moment. Very triggered.
He's triggered.
Then went to Zebulon for like maybe an hour or so.
Is that like in?
It's like Frogtown ish.
So is that like outside of Pluto? Where in the planetary system?
It's in the Milky Way. Went there. It was like popping. I've been there a few
What
times.
was named Zebulon though? Isn't there something from a movie or a show?
It came from Planet Zebulon.
Wasn't it? She was from like a girl was from Planet Zebulon.
Somebody was
Yeah, something.
Stargirl. Oh, that one on
Xenon.
Xenon.
That's Xenon.
The girl of the 21st
Yeah,
century.
girl from 21st century.
We were there for like, we actually just walked in. I've never been there,
Was it
and
crowded?
hadn't had to wait in line. But there was a show earlier, and they like it was
Letting
leaving as we got there, and so like 30 minutes later, there was like a fat line. Ordered
What
a
kind of
couple
lines?
little gator tails.
EDD line.
Fat life.
Yeah, then was there for like an hour, and then we dipped. We went to shout out Casey and Norella's new spot,
Oh, where they moved?
Noni Design House.
Oh, that
Chinatown. They got a new like warehouse space where it's like office /
Can
Casey's
he build in there
workshop.
too?
Yeah, he hadn't had all his like equipment in there yet, but like they're transitioning
so
to them.
dope.
It's a dope spot, still being built out, but spent the New Year's over there. Marlene got to meet Ryan, or no, she met him before, but Casey and Norella and like a couple other people.
Oh, she hadn't met them before?
No, so it was the first time. And then last night, actually, shout out Tiff. Happy birthday! Her birthday.
Happy birthday, Tiff.
Happy birthday, Tiff.
tomorrow, I believe.
Oh, dang. That's what's up.
Let's see what the phone says.
Oh, and also Jen.
Really?
Shout out, dearest
Same
Jen.
day?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Brought her out. So Marlene got to meet.
A bunch of people.
Yeah, Marlene and Neil. We cruised down to Long Beach for our annual expedition down there.
to the LB.
Yeah, and she got to meet like everyone. Shout out
All
like,
of them, huh?
Carly,
Yeah.
Brandy, Tuan, Julia, AJ,
Yep.
Casey. Good to see you again, homie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
thanks
what's
for
up.
watching.
That's what's up. Shout out.
Yeah, we got to put that playlist more. We got to plug that playlist more.
I know, because it's been fire for the last like 4 months.
Yeah, it's good. It's
It's a
good.
good mix. It's a melange, if you will.
Yeah, and then it was dope. It was dope. Like she got to meet all the IE homegirls. I told her about like, well, I explained it a little bit before, but like the circle of death.
That's
A
good.
little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta let people know. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I'm assuming Brooke was out there, Sean?
no, Brooke.
It was
Oh,
a different.
no?
It was a different time then.
Yeah,
Simpler,
like
simpler.
they're
times.
like the RC homies now. They're the IE homies, like Brooke and
They
Brooke and
are.
Sean.
Well, but I would assume, though, because, but she still fucks with them, right?
Yeah, but she just doesn't make it out as
Yeah.
much, you know.
We're over 5 minutes. You're cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good evening. I think she's like met like the whole circle now. I think Marlene's acquainted with everybody.
Got the spread.
I've met her friends and stuff. There's probably a couple loose ends,
That's dope.
but yeah. So she's fully acquainted now.
I feel like that's always a big step to have somebody meet like all the people.
Well, especially like I would say in previous relationships, I would hesitate to introduce them to like the main circle, like you guys are fucking chill. Like you're not threatening, but I think
I know what you're thinking.
yeah, I know.
Well,
like some
I
people
know.
can be turned off by a certain individuals in the group because they can't like take a joke or something. So they're a little sensy.
Yeah.
But you know, Marlene's stronger, strong gal.
Yeah, no facts.
Yeah, some flavors are sweet and kind and soft. Some are a little.
It just depends when you catch some homies. You catch me on a weird day, you could think I'm.
People just think you're standoffish. Wow, he just didn't even say anything to me. Yeah, I said hi, and he was like, "Hi." I'm like, that's right.
This whole thing too, like Ryan, like Rap Boy, he can come off like that, but like on New Year's Eve,
He was
like
probably just super hype, huh?
he was just like happy. He was jovial. He got drunk because like I ordered, me and him, we both got 2 doubles each. And that's like you're spending $25 like for a round, just me and him. That's 50. That's 50. So he spent
Easy
like
peasy, yeah.
he spent a bill on like 4 drinks, and I felt nothing from the sake and beer.
I feel nothing.
And
But
then then the second double, I was like, oh, nothing's. Or the first double, and then I had another one. I was like, on the Uber to Casey and Norella's spot, I was like lit. I kind of like I remember getting there, but like the ride in between, I think I had a little brown out. I had a little brown out. And she's saying like my
rolling blackout.
my humor was real, like it was getting real dark, and that like because it was like a 3-row, it was an SUV, so like Haley, shout out Haley and Robbie, they were there too, and yeah, I was in the back, so we were in the back seat, and they were all having conversation, and I was like.
You're
adding
chiming in.
commentary, but like I wasn't talking. Like Marlene was like,
anybody?
I'm not. It's like you were just talking to yourself because nobody was really hearing you, and so I would just keep on talking and just saying
like
shit.
The
And I
peanut
would,
gallery just chanting
yeah,
out
I'd
things.
like say something and I'd just laugh to myself. Like, I'm like, all right.
You like the old hecklers and the Muppets?
Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about. The 2 fools on the
Up on top.
balcony. Yeah. Dang, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Got a little-
it's been good since then. It's been good, just chilling, trying to like read more and do a little journaling and
Are
stuff.
you trying to read more books every week?
No, I'm not Katt Williams and stuff. I just need to read books in general.
3,000 in 2 days.
Yeah, I'm just trying to read more in
Did
general.
Yeah.
The math was what?
The math was mathing.
It wasn't mathing.
He said 3,000 a year.
And then for like 6 years.
But bro, there's not even that many books. So what the fuck? Like, what are you reading?
Bro, there's not that many goosebumps.
not-
Come on.
yeah.
He's reading.
Come
He's
on
moving on to the Dead Sea Scrolls and stuff like that.
No, you know what he was
I
doing?
want to read that, to be honest.
You know how to read Aramaic
That's
or
the-
Hebrew or something?
Exactly. That's the kicker. But I,
mean-
heard you can go on the internet and
Get a translation.
Yeah, but exactly.
You never know what the translation is. Who paid for it?
The transition.
Supposed to be, it's
translations
like
or
a dot
translationing.
something, a dot free thingy. So it's like whoever their religion
Paid
is.
by the Bill Gates Foundation.
Paid by religion. so I don't know, but it's supposed to be like as close as we can get the words. But exactly, it's an older language.
I mean, you can always go back to school, learn some
learn
Aramaic.
Hebrew, or yeah, I kind of want to learn a different language besides like.
Well, I've been meaning to learn like a Semitic language.
That would be dope. Like something other than Spanish.
I mean, Arabic would be dope to learn.
I think
I'd love to
Arabic is
learn
important to learn.
super
Actually,
like even like or like
more so now.
Mandarin, like just something totally like that could be useful. And
I mean, 3 I would learn would be Spanish, which I should know,
all 3 of us should be
Arabic.
fucking fluent.
way fluent.
and like Mandarin. I feel like Arabic
Exactly.
and Mandarin would be like in terms of business and stuff.
That's
That would be super
exactly.
important.
Exactly. You can go over to like Dubai and fuck with the sheik, and they'd be like, "Oh shit."
Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd make any Arab nation, like or Arab speaking culture, it'd make it way.
Dude, I always catch his full, and he's a white dude, but he's like fluent in like 4 languages, like Korean, like a bunch of shit.
You're talking about that dude on TikTok,
That dude,
he like goes into like
he
a nail
goes in-
salon, and then he's like,
He'll order or whatever, and they're just like,
What the hell?
because it'll be like, you don't even sound like you have a like. You sound
"There's
like
no
you have
accent." Like,
like,
or no,
you
that's a
sound
perfect
like-
accent.
You
It's a
sound like
perfect accent.
us.
yeah. That's a trip. Like, wait,
They're like, you don't have a. How long? Wait, what? So that's pretty dope. I always
It's like, oh no, I learned in Shenzhen. My
it's like,
girlfriend.
oh, I lived over here. I lived over here. They're
damn.
just like, they just like. The more he talks, the more they're just like,
Well, because like no, he's not 4. He's like he's like a polyglot.
he got a lot.
He
huh?
knows
He knows a lot. Huh?
because He knew like Kenyan.
He's Katt Williams.
Yeah, he is.
Probably related.
He's like the white Katt Williams.
He's the Cat in the Hat Williams.
Which also, why did Disney own the rights? I mean, we can get into that.
Dr. Seuss, yeah.
Here and there.
Dr. Seuss, Money Goose.
Yeah. If you have a kid, like when you have a kid, you're gonna start having them learn a language like real early on. Would you introduce that to them?
Like as a toddler, I would.
I think it's the easiest. Like you see the multi-linguist kids we know, like that English was necessarily their second, but it's like they learned Spanish and English at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
yeah.
It's super. Big Boy, the radio host, his kids are fluent because his wife's Hispanic. So he said he has to ask his kids. Because he's like,
help me out.
He's like, you would look at them and think they're just black, you know?
Yeah.
But he's like, they're fluent, and he's like, I'm always asking them like what people are saying and stuff.
Well, that's like, I mean, I think if you see an Asian guy, I feel like it's impressive to people in other countries.
Spanish.
Like even if I know like some basic Spanish, and if I say it with like a decent accent. Or like when we were in Italy, like saying
were killing
Italian
it over there, yeah.
Like people are kind of surprised. Because I'll like say something like really basic, but like say it okay,
fairly close, yeah.
And then they like keep speaking Italian to me, and I'm like,
I don't know.
I just
no, yeah, it'd be dope. The more
like,
you know, and it's just like language is crazy too. It's like we're kind of confined to we just know this one who we can communicate with.
Yeah, and also language limits your understanding of the world because like different languages, you know, like. I always like to express this through the word love because like we use love as like I love pizza, I love my wife, I love
lamp.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like love's for everything, but like a lot of other languages have different words to explain what that type of like or enjoyment or love is. So I feel like other languages also give you a better way to like sometimes understand or speak towards like feelings in the world and stuff like that.
Well, they say we only use like 10% of our brains, but I say we only use 10% of our hearts.
Dang. No, I would rebut that. I would say I hear what you're saying.
Do you?
But I would rebut by saying I guess you just need to learn more words because there's words to describe these things.
No.
Yeah.
There's
out there.
There's only no. What I'm saying is that we only have one idea of love. And like other languages have multiple variations of love.
Well, like in Inuit, there's like 40 different words for like ice.
Yeah.
Or snow or something.
That's always
and
one.
We have like 50 for love. We got kind of like, sort of like.
Well, we have like.
Occasionally.
If you're adding a word onto something, it's still the same word. If you're like, I somewhat love you, it's still love.
At times.
I mean, like
you can say things
really,
like, you can
really
say like,
you.
I like you, I love you, or
fond.
Or enamored and stuff like that.
I'm fond of you.
But
I fondle you.
But generally, like, if I'm saying like, oh, I'm enamored on pizza, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I would understand what you meant though.
I love the word enamored.
It's great. Yeah.
I'm enamored with
pizza. Enamored.
Enamorata.
You're enamored with the word enamored?
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
I would like to get to the point where you know a language so well that you start dreaming in that language. I think that's cool. I think that's got to be such a wild thing. Like, for people that know multiple languages, dreams have multiple languages going through their dreams. Yeah.
Oh, if you're dreaming bilingually, trilingually,
quad.
You don't dream in subtitles right now?
Well, apparently you're like a lot of the times. You don't see words. Or if it's supposedly it's like jumbled up and it's nonsensical when you're dreaming.
Well, because more of just understanding a scenario, like because you think something in a dream.
I think I dreamed in Spanish once. Well, I see everyone there was Spanish.
I could,
and I didn't understand anything. So it was
I was lost.
I was lost.
Yeah, giant mercado, and I was lost.
De Murcielago.
I went to the mercado and I ordered in Spanish, and then like the girl kind of like, you know, she was like, "It's a white dude," but like, and then she started speaking back to me in Spanish. And then I was like, oh. I've used up all my words. I'm back to being white.
He was trying to do something. He thought he did something.
Yeah. I really felt good about ordering. But that was it. That's all I had. I used all my
words. Those tamales you brought last week, those were fire.
Were they fire?
Did you steam them? I've been fiending for some tamales. Might go get some.
I didn't actually go all the way and steam them. I would just like cover them in the wet towel and just like microwave
That's close.
They're still
steaming,
good.
Right?
It's like the same.
Ish.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
like
microwave technically just depletes the water molecules.
it heats the water molecules,
Yeah, and they
in there.
vibrate really quickly, which produces the heat.
Yep. I like how you look towards us like you were like
Obviously.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it works.
I mean, it is how it works. That is how microwaves work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just learn something new. Bill Nye.
Nice. Also, nice kick, Sean. You're like
I
you
know
said.
he's been kicking it up. No pun intended.
You got a rotation like for every day of the week now. Soon.
Dang, he's like
He's gonna be like having. He's like, oh, I got those like months ago. I haven't worn them.
Haven't worn them yet.
He's getting there.
I'm kind of getting there because I had the other ones for a while.
I still haven't laced the Palominos.
Oh, I got those too, right?
You
Those
wore
are-
'em.
Yeah, those are
They're
good.
dope.
Those are
I
nice.
know.
Did you see the ones they're dropping? They're like yellow. They're coming out like it's like
Jordans or
2
Dunks?
weeks. Jordans.
Oh, they
Yeah, I
look
did see
kind of
those.
like I
highs.
have like the element. I have like the element version. It's kind of like a mustard yellow.
Yeah.
Those are those are fly.
I'm trying to talk myself out of not getting them, but I feel like
They've been kind of dropping some dope shoes.
a lot, and there's a lot they're just sitting on Nike. Dude, there's so
Pandas are sitting for the first time.
Well, Pandas have been sitting for like a year.
but
see
not
now.
sitting. Like
No,
they were
they've
just
been they've been
I mean,
sitting,
they've been
sitting.
sitting there. Yeah, they've
I
just
don't-
been re-releasing them.
I don't know if this is true or not, but there was a video that was like I saw, and there was a girl.
The dude,
yeah,
was all hyped to where
I was like,
you know,
first thing,
everything is scripted nowadays,
Yeah.
but it's still funny.
the first thing, I'm like, you were not hyped for Panda.
He could have. Maybe he was middle
Well,
America.
no, look.
But they
if he's
wrote-
a dad,
But they wrote you couldn't get them.
Yeah, she was like, she said
his first pair
hard to
hard to get
sneakers.
I guess.
well, like I mean,
I
look,
guess
like
hard to get.
Hard
because
to get.
I guess hard to get
because like he's not waiting for restocks.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
he just they
Yeah.
probably popped up on
Every
the
time
Nike
he
store.
tried
and
it,
he's
probably
like, oh.
sold out. Yeah.
I sound so snobby, and like, what do I'm talking to two guys who have
Look at him.
3 times.
Look at him.
It's funny
He's-
though because
he's
the
one of
video,
us now.
the video is just like he goes, it's
Panda.
like panda, high top panda,
Yep.
panda,
Couple fakes,
Couple
fake
fake.
pandas, but still nonetheless pandas.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's how it is. Shoes.
You see the video? It was like happened yesterday. The side of an airplane got ripped off while people were in flight.
No,
Well, like I think that was like it wasn't the door; it was a different part.
just a
but
window.
the door popped off.
I don't
The
think there was
emergency door popped off.
no. There was no emergency door there. It was in the back of the plane.
they were able to land.
Yeah, they flew for 20 minutes.
How'd they stabilize the air? Everyone's on the mask.
Everyone's on the mask.
Yeah,
But here was the creepy thing. What they said is the guy walks back and asks, was there anybody sitting in that seat? And they said, no, I don't think so. Like, you don't think? You don't know if somebody, you're sitting next to somebody, you don't know if they got sucked out the fucking plane? Like, damn.
The Mandela effect.
For real. But
I don't know if
it was
that's applied
crazy because, we film everything now. So the video I saw is just this girl's filming the whole while like they're in flight. The plane goes up, you can see the stars in the sky, like straight up,
It's
like
nighttime?
filming it nighttime, and then she's just filming herself with the mask on. I'm like, yo, we really film everything now.
I'll let you know it's real. I mean, half the shit I see, I think it's fake. So I'd like to know it's real.
Yeah,
Well, it's yeah.
I mean, this week I feel like was full of things of like fake possible things and real things that got like.
Well, let's just get into Katt because I got a good segue because that's what he said. All conspiracies come from some truth. It starts out as a theory, but then you get more information. And that's where the conspiracy comes in.
It's like landing on the moon, right?
What do you think makes something from just a
The theory,
like what makes something a conspiracy?
when there's not enough fact to back it,
To really give like
it's like
empirical evidence.
It's almost like religion. It's like there's just enough to make you want.
So is religion a conspiracy theory?
Could be.
I mean,
I'd
be on board with that because it kind of
It could
for
be.
real is.
I mean, it's taking like circumstantial evidence or like something and
Opinionated
connecting
evidence.
connecting things together that aren't
Yeah.
like it's like
Well, it could be
What's
one of
the
those
term?
things where it's like it was like it just spiraled so far now. It's like it started out as a
yeah.
to do something, and then now it's well beyond what it. So now we've adopted. It's like telephone, but we we whispered a million times now. So how is it going to be the same sentence?
oh, speaking of real quick, to you, Trey, specifically, happy January 6th. I hope you're
National Surgeon Day.
Yeah, how'd you make it out from there, dude?
How'd you
How'd you not
celebrate?
get caught?
I didn't go. Said I would, but
Allegedly.
I didn't. No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, that
Those
like
peeps. it is the anniversary. That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
3 years. That's crazy.
third year anniversary.
Yeah.
Dang.
And like they're still catching people. Like they just caught 3 fugitives out in I
Are
mean
they-
I'm just saying what let me take that back. I'm calling them fugitives because of what it was written. I'm not calling them fugitives
They're just
myself.
living their life.
I'm not calling them fugitives. Like they're running away. It's not like
They're probably
They're
not
probably
hiding
not-
very.
yeah, no, they
they're
were
just
just
living.
they were chilling in Florida. You
Just
know what I
living.
mean? Which
People are
makes
scared
sense.
to go look for things in Florida anyway.
Hell yeah.
Who's going to go there to look for anything?
I mean, you don't know what's gonna come
Florida
out.
man.
You don't want to go there, so it's like
Yeah.
just avoid.
Yeah,
You know?
except for Katt Williams.
That's where he ran away
I
to.
guess he moved at 13.
What do you guys think about it? You believe in this?
I believe like a lot of it. Like
Percentage me.
The hard evidence he did go to Florida. That was probably in the 80s or 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
2500. I don't know where he got that. Maybe because he said he started doing stand up.
He was
Pretty
shoveling.
early.
He said
He
he
said he was
shoveled
shoveling
doing
snow.
Well, he said he was doing all
what he
sorts of
said.
things. Probably not just shoveling
Yeah,
snow.
because
but,
yeah, you're right.
that's a lot of money
For-
back in the day. You
bruh.
could. That's like 6 months
For
of
a
rent.
kid,
Yeah.
like that's a lot of money for a kid. But hey,
All right, let's get a better. So he is 71, 81, 91, 2020. He's 52.
Dang, that was good math.
yeah, so
Strong,
So 52.
strong math boy.
So
No,
we're saying
in the '80s, early '80s.
we're saying 39 years ago.
No, in the early '80s, like '80.
So how far?
Oh shit! Like 85.
Oh, so like year
Yeah.
after I was born.
Yeah. So basically, when we were born, he was a 13-year-old with 2,500 in his pocket who hopped in the back
And a Rottweiler puppy.
and a Rottweiler.
And he hopped in the back.
He
of,
hopped on the back of,
18
an 18-wheeler. Because one person said they were going to California,
And
but
one
the
person-
was going to Florida and took the shorter route.
But that's
He
kind of
did pick-
believable
'cause
for
he
back
picked two
then,
warm-
though.
But also, he picked 2 warm places. I get it.
Hitchhiking, that's more believable way back then.
I like it though how in it, Shannon Sharp was like, "So you hitchhike?" He said, "No."
Oh.
Like,
So then how'd you
what do
get
you
there?
call it?
He overheard. Well, technically, hitchhiking is you
I
stick out
guess
the
so,
thumb.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was.
He left a lot of bubbles.
He was
though. It's just like,
perusing
he didn't say
the
too
wares
much
at
of
a
what he
truck stop.
did in Florida. You don't like, you know what I mean? He's just said that he moved again to like Oakland. He left out a lot about if he was pimping or not.
Yeah, and he definitely
Because that was when he was supposedly on drugs in the Oakland time.
times. Well, he definitely acted like he had never done anything besides nicotine.
And alcohol.
and
And
alcohol
weed.
and weed.
And weed, yeah.
And he doesn't.
Weed's
He's
not
not.
a drug, though,
and he's
yeah.
not an alcoholic. He's a connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
Yeah. I mean, but some of the things he did say, I was
Believable.
like, all right,
Believable.
yeah.
What
Like,
did he say? You have an unnatural allegiance to losers,
I
and
do
it's
not like-
unbecoming of you.
So funny. That was so funny. He took a
he's like-
sip. Yeah, he took his little sip. He said,
You have unnatural allegiance to losers.
It's unbecoming. No,
I mean, that
he's-
was like that was a lot of shade thrown out. Cedric, Ricky
Steve.
Smiley, Steve. I mean,
but he hit up like all old people that I feel like are washes anyway. Like,
Well,
no, Kings
No,
of
because at
Comedy.
the end he shouted out like all the up and comers. Like he even shouted out Desi Banks. He shouted out like a bunch of dudes. So I don't know.
I did realize though, like a lot of it, he was talking about BET, like early BET, and
Comic View.
Yeah, and I was like, I know nothing about that.
Comic View.
yeah,
Yeah.
I used to watch
Yeah.
it. I didn't know what was funny. Like that's when like we were talking like Sinbad and stuff was on there, and
Yeah.
like I didn't think a lot of like comics in general in the 90s were funny because I didn't know shit. Like I wasn't.
But in
Had
his
no life
defense,
experience.
he does have a classic stand up.
Yeah, 2.
He has a
Well,
lot.
I would say
Like but first 100%
the purple
classic.
suit and the green
The
suit.
green suit.
Yeah.
Classics.
Yeah, classic.
Like 100%.
I would say it's one of the
That shit's called deaf.
Depth. Well, and, like, I would say Kevin Hart has what? I would say one classic.
I don't know. I think two classics.
two.
Another one that's like
Kind of, yeah.
It's funny, and then like after that,
It's just
they're not
good.
very funny. But
what do we think about Chappelle? How many classics he has?
One.
killing him softly.
One
Sprinkle some Croak on him.
100% classic. One of the best stand-ups.
That's a classic.
I would put it up with George Carlin. I'd put it up with like
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. Like I'd put
that was a stand-up.
that was a like through and through.
Well, yeah, you can't deny that he's like a great stand-up comedian in general. Because like I know he's talking about a number of specials, but he had you can't doubt his credentials. He has been touring forever.
Yeah.
That's what I think he allows him to say what he feels.
Yeah, because he's like they're not doing anything anymore. They have TV shows.
and that is true. Like he does. Like he has been on the road. He stays on the road.
Been there.
So as far as a comic, I get where his disdain could be coming from when he's talking about stuff like that. But I also can see the other side to where it's like,
Well, I mean, because they were saying he was a little like blackballed and stuff, like, and I could see that because he was standing on his morals because he didn't want to do like little dog and pony show. Didn't want to play this like characters that he thought portrayed black people in an undesirable light. Like in talking about Next Friday, a good chunk of the interview was like discussing a lot of
that
the
was
stuff
crazy too. I didn't know he came up with all the lines for Money Mike of.
I could see why specifically comedians in movies would want to write all their lines, though.
Of course.
Like, why would you? That's your shtick. That's your thing. Like, why would you want somebody else?
But then that gives him more legs to stand on.
100%.
Too, because
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
like
even when he was going on about Phase on Love, like he's dope, but I don't know one of his jokes.
I know of.
That's what I'm saying. We've all seen him in mad TV shows or movies. He's been like, I don't know one joke.
But like every single name that Katt Williams mentioned, to me, our old Wash had.
Well, that's his. He's around there.
I get it. But like Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, older like comedians,
Steve, Cedric.
No. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of people who I would say are still out there,
doing it,
understood as comedians. I don't like. Do people think Steve Harvey is a comedian?
I would assume
he's a TV host now. He's a game show host.
I would say he's like, and same thing with Cedric. I'm like, are you a? I don't see your name being passed around like.
But that's what he's referring as. He's like, they're not
comedians anymore.
Yeah, they're not comedians like that, and that's where he's coming from. With that, I kind of because Steve Harvey to me, he never was funny. Cedric kind of either.
Like I would watch Steve Harvey show, but like
Bernie Mac was hilarious.
Yes, Bernie was hilarious.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bernie. He was like
hilarious,
and also he was the one who
Patrice
went to
O'Neal, hilarious.
Patrice O'Neal's still funny. He's hilarious still.
Hilarious,
and he's still doing stand up, still doing the
I thought
rounds.
Patrice O'Neal died.
Oh wait, did he? No.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking somebody else.
Yeah, Patrice O'Neal died.
Yeah, that was like a few years ago, right? Yeah, I know.
Kind of recently, yeah. No, but yeah, there are funnies that are comedians, but like Steve Harvey, Cedric, I don't even think they're funny. Like,
I was like, he shouted out Earthquake.
And
I was like, I gotta
he's
see
funny,
but he's like an old school dude. He's
old school, but it's true. Like some people do get that, like because Earthquake had that shot, but he wasn't able to translate it. You know what I mean?
Do you think the whole piece about doing, like actors dressing up as women, taking women roles, or being gay was a thing? Like, do you believe that like you gotta take that role and then like you're given something, but like you're demeaning yourself? I felt like that's what he was trying to say.
He's said that many a times, and I see, and I kind of do believe his sentiment with that, because it's kind of like we're talking about with Epstein. It's like we know they're doing this stuff, but we don't know that they're doing these kind of things, and I can't put it past these people to be like, okay, you just got to degrade yourself to get big a little bit.
Yeah, but like
they were doing the same thing at like Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, no, but the dude that we were talking about, I can't remember forgetting the most successful black actor,
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry, yeah. Like
he's like he can't play.
I'm like he can't play a man's role.
He hasn't though. That's his whole thing.
But like it was feel like he was trying to put him down in a sense. I'm like,
well, he kind of is. He's like, you're writing your parts.
Yeah,
you're directing your parts.
These are your movies, but you're always putting yourself as
your parts.
Yeah.
Never once did you ever want to just be a man.
Well, also like,
and that's what he's saying. Like, you are a man. Did you never want to be a man? Like,
I always thought that was part of the comedy. I felt like that was part of the shtick. It's like ha ha ha.
But Tyler Perry's not a comedian.
No, but isn't like Big Mama's House Like funny?
Big Mama's House is Martin Lawrence.
Oh, my bad.
Tyler Perry does Medea.
Medea. Sorry, thank you. But isn't it same? I mean,
He's not a comedian though.
But isn't it
It's
comedy?
kind of it is a comedy,
comedic, but he's not a
he's
comedian.
But wouldn't it? But I'm saying if it was a like.
Why couldn't he just write him as a grandfather? Why does he have?
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like he's inserting himself in these roles. Like
He's writing it, directing it, shooting it, and never once has he put himself as he just dresses in the world.
Well, also kind of to further Katt's points, like
You know what? That's where he's coming from. It's like, why can't you?
Well, and also
if representation is such a big thing,
Yeah.
why can't you positively represent what it is to be a powerful black man?
Well, also, like
Got you.
a
That's
common
the sentiment.
criticism of Tyler Perry's movies is like a lot of the characters just rely on old
Slapstick,
tropes.
yeah.
Also, old
what I
tropes
thought
of like angry black woman, vengeful against her partner that wronged her. The men,
it-
like,
and it kinda
it just
is.
relies on it. But it like I guess
It's funny, it's salacious, you get a good laugh if you're not doing nothing.
But it is a bit tired, like, and it's
felt
not
like
doing anything.
super
Like, you have the
tired.
power to like.
And I think
I've never
that's
seen
where
one.
I believe the Katt Williams, what he's talking about, is like, yeah, no, it kind of is like, yeah, why don't you just not wear a dress?
I mean, yeah.
I feel too like in respect to Martin Lawrence, the Big Mama's House, that was an era, but maybe that's the only thing. It's like, oh, you need to come up with
But
this.
he had already
really...
previously did that. He
Yeah,
was Shaniqua
exactly.
on the Martin Show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like one of his characters. He had like quite a few characters.
Again, that he wrote.
What about
Yeah.
Eddie?
I don't think Eddie Griffin ever.
No, Murphy.
Yeah,
The Clumps.
I think he did address.
He did.
Well, he
Clumps.
did like
all the whole
he
family.
Did everybody.
and he wrote it.
But that's why Dave Chappelle and Katt Williams, when they say that one specific thing and they're on it together, they feel the same about this.
Yeah.
That's why Dave said he was like kind of basically walked away. He's like, they wanted me to do some stuff that I felt was
like
like
a song and dance.
It's,
Like
it's not funny. It's more demeaning.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
can be funny. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
kind of like
know what
minstrelly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's their whole
dance.
thing because they actually take the thing of comedy very serious. It seems like at least those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kevin Hart seems like he's got other shit going on.
It's got Fabletics.
I suppose. I mean, Kevin Hart did. I will say he turned down being in Tropic Thunder because the character was gay and he didn't want to. So,
He said, but he's also worn a dress on SNL.
but see, like that to me is not like there's a. Do we want to count like all of the times like guys have like dressed up?
But
on
what
SNL?
what was funny about the bit to where they made him act like he's a 9-year-old black girl that's the first pope?
That's a skit.
That was
a skit.
Yes, it's Kevin Hart in a dress, and he comes out like everyone else is in their bishop shit, like Keenan, all in their bishops, and then he comes out as the pope, but he's the first female but 9-year-old child and black pope. This was like the bit, and he's
They're
up
not
there
all
like
funny.
he's like
They don't all hit.
So like
Well, that's kind of his
basically
thing,
It
too.
is.
the idea is like the writing,
you're
is
funnier than
demeaning.
it. That's all it is.
and so whoever's at the top is demeaning black men.
It's not like they're writing themselves. Well, Tyler Perry's writing himself in
Yeah,
these
yeah, yeah,
situations,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the other people they're giving, and that's what Dave Chappelle said too. He said in a movie they offered, or he was in, they told him, "Hey, it'd be great if you wore a dress for this scene, blah blah blah. I want, and he's like, no, we're not doing that." He said, the director then came out, then some producers came out, and he said finally after they got the idea that he's
wasn't gonna
not
do
going to
it.
do it, he said, okay, and he came back to me in 5 minutes with the whole new scene. And he's like, how the fuck you have a whole scene written out unless you already had this scene and just we're trying to
Just
get
Trying to like
case.
see what I would do.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because if you look at it too,
and he's only looking at his greats and he's like, well, if all the guys I've looked up to had to do this, why?
I mean, if you look at the white peers, you'd say there's no. I would say there's barely any exceptions. Like Will Ferrell's and like whoever, they don't really have to do that same thing to get like.
The Adam Sandler.
And those guys are all capable of making very shitty movies. But they're not. They get to do like some
Whatever.
silly shit.
Yeah, it's like,
but not necessarily degrading or demeaning.
and that was the Cat one. They wanted him to play like what? Someone that got, he was supposed, or he said Ricky said he was supposed to be the Santa Claus in Friday
like,
After
he
Next.
was,
He's supposed to get like
a
raped
drug addict.
in some scene.
Yeah.
And he's like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I believe
I
some of
thought,
what he says.
it was
Yeah,
it was both funny and like it was thought provoking as well.
very much so. And I think
'Cause
that's
even if it was a comedic lens, it's like, oh, you got to look. If you look at it a little deeper, it's
and I think that's what
really
he's still
interesting
serving. He's a good storyteller. I think he still has some funny in him. I don't
Do you-
think he's washed.
Do you think it's different for an actor to dress up as a woman than a comedian to dress up as a woman?
well because they're still actors in their roles. But I guess too.
What about Miss Doubtfire?
Okay, yeah,
It's
because
really
Robin
no
is a
difference.
comedian.
It's like no, it's and that's
Because it's one of his biggest, most everyone loves
and
that.
A lot of people say
movie.
that it's almost no difference. Like you have to do this public humiliation to get on, and it just coincides. It seems like a lot of these people, when they do these things, they pivot and get bigger.
Well, too, with Miss Doubtfire, that's kind of like the plot device. The script is written around
at,
this, but like I think the roles he's saying, it's like that doesn't advance the plot. It doesn't enrich
Or
the
like
character. It's
white
just
chicks
like
from the Wayans brothers. That seemed like that really propelled them
that.
into
Yeah,
just normal America. People know who the
Yeah.
Wayans brothers
Yeah.
are, or
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
Sean
yeah.
and Marlon. Before that, they were very much so an urban thing. When white chicks came out,
Yeah.
and what are they doing this whole movie?
Damn, there's a lot of dudes.
Wearing dresses.
Yeah. I'm just looking at, there's
A lot of people have done it. Yeah.
I mean, it is different. Like say to Wong Fu or like the Birdcage or
Yeah, that's why I
whatever.
asked
That's
that
like
question.
specifically like drag.
Yeah.
But this is like playing
especially
a
when you're
woman's role
making
type
it to
of thing.
seem like funny. Like they're
Yeah,
not
it's
trying
a
to.
shtick.
Yeah, exactly. Because none of these people looked like females. Like in the Wayans brothers did not look like.
Yeah.
They barely looked human.
Well, I feel like
They
a lot of times.
look like aliens.
Yeah.
They're like it's like aliens. Like what?
They
do-
put it on like so pasty on them.
They're
They
so
look
white.
like aliens.
Just so pasty
It's like
white.
caked on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it's not like they're trying to like make them look beautiful too. So then it's kind of like another demeaning thing towards women. Then right? It's just like maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I guess too. I mean,
Get a woman to play the role.
Yeah, I guess it's like
That's what I was thinking.
that's
Yeah,
exactly the
100%.
thing.
Is this guy so good that he has to play a woman?
I mean, that's also a widespread issue. It's like gay actors playing gay roles instead of a straight actor.
that I don't know. I'm kind of because like that is kind of not like we're not supposed to outwardly see you being gay. Not saying you can't. I'm just saying
Well,
it's not
but,
like it's
I
like
mean-
black. You can't get a white kid to play a black person. That visually, you know.
No,
you get
but
what I'm
like I
saying?
think it's like for an actor, like I think most actors want to embody a role and give an accurate portrayal of like what the character is going through in their emotional journey.
But then that defeats all actors. Not all actors do what they act.
No,
like.
and I'm saying there are certain things like you saw what is it, The Last of Us, Nick Offerman's character. But at the same time, there were I remember he had doubts like I am not gay, so should I be portraying this gay character, especially in this
I feel that.
very emotional.
You're an actor though. Pretend.
No,
I
but
get
then
it when it's like a
but then
visual
there's-
thing. Like,
but there's other things like, I mean, on
Everyone's
on the
portraying
last
it,
on the
they're
Last of
acting.
Us, there were gay writers, people on staff. This is versus like say, I guess you could say like for Juneteenth
Mm-hmm.
or Black History Month, like they get say for a marketing team like. Oh, if that's primarily white, non-black, just say like nobody's black on there to like pitch. Oh, how do we want to do these Juneteenth or Black History Month commercials or ad campaigns or something for like Target or whatever? Like, is it that it's not the same, but it has a similar sentiment, right?
No, I 100% agree with what you're saying, but where I'm coming from, it's like, say the lead of a film is gay.
Okay.
So then what you're saying is take away all just great male actors, or if it was female actors, and now you have to lessen the scope of who you can choose because they can only actually be gay to play this part.
No, it's not saying that. Like there are choices, but I think before, let's say, it wasn't even an idea to get a gay actor to play a gay character. It was always a straight actor. So it's not
I get all that, but for me, it's not a visual thing. Like you don't see gay. Like that's
well,
what
it's
I'm saying.
not. Well,
you
it's
don't
not.
see gay.
Actors aren't portraying visually things. Like, yeah, I get the skin color and stuff, but it's like to portray the emotion of a scene. Yeah, actors are actors, so they'll try as accurately as they want to do.
So if you're portraying a drug dealer, do you have to actually go sell drugs to be able to portray that if you're an actor?
I mean, it might help.
Well, I mean, there's a movie out right now called American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright, I believe, and the premise is he's a writer, and I think Issa Rae's on there too, and he writes books, but they're not very popular. And it is going exactly to what we were saying, and Katt Williams was talking about. And they're like, your books are good, but they're not popular. And he's like, we need to get a black book from you. And then he's like, I'm a writer and I make books and I'm black.
Books.
So
yeah.
he's like, and then the editor's like, you know what I mean? And so it goes on.
Black book.
Yeah, and it goes on. Then he puts on this like stereotypical kind of like offensive character. And he's like portraying like this writer who lived this experience. I mean, I think
that's the world, though.
That looks like a good movie.
It looks really good too.
Yeah, just reading about it.
Because we had talked about that's the same thing with how Bobby Caldwell was
got
trying to
great ratings.
put himself out there because his fan base was black. No one knew he was white. So
Does it matter in any way, shape, or form that the roots of acting all started with men?
Does it matter?
Yeah, men used to always play women's roles back in the day.
Shakespeare and stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about like I know I'm talking about like
I get where you're coming from.
decades, but like it's not like this isn't a new thing. It's not like this hasn't happened before and stuff like that. And also like there's been a lot of people that like what it seems like is there's almost this sense of like because it's a movie, like anything can go. Like, oh, it's not a hit on you because you're wearing a dress because it's a movie. But if you did your stand up in a dress,
that's different.
That's different. Like, we're making you. Netflix says, oh, you can only do the stand up if you're in a dress. That'd be like demeaning to me. I mean, I get it if you're only getting roles like that, or if the role like clearly has no need for it. But it does seem that like we've been doing it forever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's like it's definitely not anybody's place to say right or wrong, but I feel like it's only recently a question like that. Oh, like at least ask that question during production or casting.
Blackface was acceptable for a time too.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, Al Jolson or whatever.
Yeah,
he was
like, they're doing that in Sweden right now.
Yeah,
they're literally doing blackface in Sweden on like an American Idol right now, like currently.
Swedish.
They
Idol.
dress up as whoever they want to karaoke. It's a karaoke show, and they'll perform and they'll paint themselves.
I think I saw that, and somebody was doing a Kendrick song, and he's like,
"This is currently going on."
I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, because I think a lot of people are under the impression like, "Oh, racism's over."
That is burnt. That's wrong.
a lot of like European countries, primarily very,
or if I think it's somewhere over there.
A very distinct lack of melanation.
Yeah, but yeah, no, they definitely do that, and that's like the bit of the show is to like, yeah.
I got nothing.
Well, I guess as we mentioned him earlier, I guess this could be add a bit of a content warning for SA and
Epstein Island.
Yeah,
we're going there.
Well, I mean, like those files were released. Everybody's like, oh, this,
shocked?
That, What?
You shocked?
No, like this is kind of. I think the kind of common understanding is nothing's new in this. Like these are all people like Billy Clinton.
You surprised or anything?
No, I mean, Sean, you said earlier like you're shocked that Stephen Hawking was named on that, but
no. I mean, yes,
or the ability.
Yes, because
to
I didn't realize that homie had
his dick work.
Well, I just couldn't see like okay when I picture an orgy, and I picture a guy, a paraplegic in a wheelchair that can't talk and it's like fall just. I don't understand how like an orgy happens. Like I feel like he just becomes a couch.
Love seat.
I'm sure people sit on him, take active roles.
That's why I was like, I mean, it's still fucked up and everything, but I was just kind of like shocked. I'm like,
well, he's like, he's. I mean, yeah, he had that movie because he had that. I believe he cheated on his wife before.
So what? Disabled people can't cheat now?
I mean, no. I think what Josh is saying is that like there's this idea that because he was brilliant, he was a good guy or some shit.
Which is, I think, in modern day, that's being proven that it's.
Why are we
definitely
challenging every stupid social norm, but not real ones?
Like what?
People with money or
distraction.
animals?
Huh?
Distractions.
Distractions.
What was it you said though? People with money?
Yeah, like rich people are crazy too.
I mean, because I think that people like to believe that like there is a world above theirs that's beautiful and everything's shiny and nice and neat. But like how we've talked about,
So heaven is a millionaire.
But I feel like how we talked about in the past 3 episodes, like you even said, I was like listening back to the last episode, I was like, damn, Trey did just say that. You were like, yeah, I would do the same thing if I had the money. I was like, I mean,
well, that goes to show you. You think I think there's widely held
It's hard
belief
to go against the grain, right?
that if you have a lot of money, if you're wealthy, you earn that through hard work and moral channels.
Disencompass, yeah, whatever allows you to think that.
But that's more often than not, especially like millionaires and then billionaires getting obscenely wealthy. I think we all know that capitalism.
We were saying that though.
Is,
do you think that we just aren't privy to that kind of understanding because we don't have that kind of wealth?
Yeah, we don't understand that world that.
So
ease of
that's
power.
what I'm saying. Do you think that's actually like how we live normality is that's their normal? And when we peer in, it just seems so abnormal.
Well, like, we view the world through a distinctly different lens. When we were in Europe and we thought we knew we weren't like hardcore balling out, but we would go.
We were having fun.
We would go to the.
pretended.
Yeah, we would go to the Saint Laurent store. We would go like cop some Fendi or something, but it's like a wallet. And we thought we were balling out, but like, somebody who's obscenely wealthy be like, why are you even letting them in the store?
Shut
like
the store down when I shop.
Yeah. Like I don't want to be in the same area as these people.
Shut the stove down when I come through. It's crazy.
Going back to like what you asked with the Epstein thing, I don't think it was much. First thing, people don't know some of these people. There's a lot of names. Like there's literally like because I looked over the list of names.
You had never heard of.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know you. I
saw it was split to slides because it was on Instagram, but I was like, I knew the first slide, and there were 10 slides, and I was like, I knew maybe 3 names on the rest of them. So that goes to show you that
money.
This is all like businessmen, politicians, like captains of industry type of shit. Because like,
but we'll never even know who they are. We just have their name.
Well, and then there was also the thing too. Like, okay, so I had seen Trump was named, but
he didn't go.
He didn't do and so then like this list of names is very dangerous because if I look down at it,
you would
and
think
I look at the
Jimmy
people
Kimmel's on there.
Yeah, well, like Kate Blanchett is on there.
Naomi
Campbell, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Because these are all people that got
Cameron
invited.
Diaz. Yeah, it's just people's names. So I'm like, it's pretty dangerous to actually like just hop in and look at like
how many things are they doing on this island? Are they kicking on this island as well?
They're saying like because these aren't like flight logs, these aren't anything. Yeah. These are just names in like So it could be thrown around. The sources that I saw from it, a lot of them were like a lot of warning, like going into this. These are just people named. These are notable names. These aren't necessarily. Maybe they've been abused. They are just mentioned
but somehow they're maybe connected.
I would definitely believe that Billy Clinton and Trump and
you think he was playing saxophone out there?
He's playing some.
Was there any name that actually you were like no like
couldn't be?
Well, no, that was like I just didn't even know that dude was around anymore. Like
I'm surprised R. Kelly wasn't on there.
David Copperfield was the one name that was like, bro,
David's on there.
Yeah,
but that's like from probably back in the day.
Yeah, but I mean, but he
making shit disappear.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, come make Mike disappear.
But he was one of those ones though. His name was thrown up there. He's not being accused of anything, But
nobody. Well, unless they're like named.
There's accusers.
Because the victim, the girl who's 26 is coming out now, just like airing out everything. She's like 14 at the time.
I could see that Prince Andrew.
I mean,
for sure,
homie. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, all these guys is for sure. Like
if I didn't recognize your name, you're probably a bad person.
Well, because the whole thing is Soberg. That's the accuser's last name.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sorry that like I don't know more about it, but like she did say, yes, this person was there. No, I didn't touch them. Yes, this person was there. they turned me away. Like, so there is like clarity on some of the names. Like Michael Jackson was one of them. Yes, he was there. I met him. No, he didn't want anything to do with me. So like I know that there's some pieces on that, though there are the names like specifically like Billy Clint and like, you know, and Prince Andrew. Like you're just like,
I did not have relations with that young girl.
it's just like when I read
totally
the
did,
thing, when I read the thing that he was quoted saying I like him young, I just feel like everyone would be like, yeah. like I know I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I don't know how
But
young.
what's your
I don't know how young because he's old as fuck. But I don't know. I mean, like Josh did say earlier, like when he was caught in office in the 90s, it was with an intern.
That was G.
It was intern.
It was G.
G.
He was a G.
You thought he was a G?
Well, America did.
Well,
America was split. I think that I honestly think that was the moment that America was like,
oh, presidents aren't like amazing people.
no, I think that's like the moment where America was like, we're going to get the other side. We're going to like,
I feel like he was still a G. Like people still looked at him as a G.
Well, he has a favorable public opinion in general, like looking back and stuff.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
probably will color it a
he
little
kissed
bit.
a black baby, which
Played the
helped him out. He played the
saxophone on
saxophone.
Arsenio.
Yeah, with the sunglasses on.
The sunglasses.
He talked about smoking, even though he didn't say. He said
His
he didn't
wife
inhale.
carries hot
We know.
sauce in her purse. You know,
I really want to know if you're carrying hot sauce, what kind?
It's
is in
mayonnaise.
your purse.
she pulled out I think like a Louisiana Crystals. I know she ain't got those flavor profiles for that shit.
She's like, this is hot.
He's like, you're just holding the bottle. She's like, I know. It burns.
It's all got the plastic on there. I knew she had never
It's
used.
in a plastic bag.
Yeah, she.
I know a lot of the names on there also have does, and they're getting like Jane Doe's, John Doe's, number 3, 7, 12, and like their names are being released later. However, that has been decided, and the documents are going to be going out slowly. I just imagine people that were saying this back in 2020 are like, "See, we told you, we knew." It's like I generally think the most of the public.
Do you feel like
about
if
this.
it didn't get out, it would be okay if it stayed private?
I don't think it changes anyone's life. I
So
don't-
it's okay.
I'm not saying it's okay or not, but I feel like this is the whole thing that happens with people when they try to like to focus on like flat earth or some shit like that. You want to prove something, and it's like, is that going to change the fact that like you owe taxes or like that you're, you know, you have to like put food on the table? No. Like, what are you going to do? Hang these people and then what? You still got to go to your shitty ass job. Like,
We'll just have worse entertainment.
I mean, if anything, the comedy sphere should be loading up. Just like we got the, you
They're
know,
scared though. They may have been over there.
Well, Kat did name Mr. Tucker, beloved actor Christopher Tucker.
He gone, but he literally gone. He,
I mean,
he on
he's
Jesus
just
Island. Yeah,
choosing
his name's not on the list.
Chris Tuck.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a selective thing because like this has been going on for probably
A while.
more than a decade, and
Yeah.
like I think the flight logs and the boat statements, whatever.
Because what
boat logs.
the Maxwell, she got 20 years.
Did she?
I think so.
Seems kind of light, doesn't it?
She's an accomplice.
I mean, things don't seem to really last long, and it seems that people get out depending the color of
Depending
your
on
skin.
what, yeah, and what happens.
Mhm.
Technically, yeah, depending
Like,
on what happened.
people get let off. Like, chill.
Yeah, because I think she got 20 years.
Yeah,
for her part.
Because I'm not saying these are the same or equal or murder or drugs or whatever.
How
but
did that girl end on the island?
how'd she end up on it?
Yeah, like
They recruit them and then they fly
Yeah.
them in
For massages, right? Like to get
erotic massages.
erotic massages
mm.
to make money or some shit like that. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
If some lady offered either of you guys $1,000,
Just some lady. Okay.
some lady
$1,000.
$1,000, and all she wanted to do was give you a massage,
How old is she?
doesn't matter.
And
It
how
does
old are,
matter.
How old are
You got. I mean,
we?
She's
like
40
now?
and attractive.
okay. She's
Is that
40
like
and
saying
attractive
currently now?
at this very moment in my life.
Yep.
Okay.
She's
She wants to
married.
She wants to give me $1,000 to give
She's-
me a massage.
She's married.
Okay.
She just likes to feel. This is what she's telling you. She just likes to be able to touch a man, and she can't do that with her husband. So she wants to pay you $1,000 to nothing sexual, just to massage you.
I don't know her.
No.
I'm gonna look her up first.
Yeah. Okay. You get all the information. What do you do? And what do you think? Do you think this is just a massage, or do you think that
Well, but this is
you're reading in between lines? No, I'm just asking.
But it's not the same. This isn't even close to the
No,
same
I'm asking
scenario.
a different. I'm just asking.
I mean, there doesn't seem anything bad with that. If I look her up and she's not like, part of some
cabal.
blood sucking thing, like I would want to know who the person is.
I get all that.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, so you would do it, right?
I mean,
More than likely.
I'm more than likely, depending she passes the vibe check. Yeah.
Okay. So then it happens. She hits you up again, say 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
First time went through exactly how she said, gave you $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
She just massaged you.
Okay.
That one went off, but I'll finish this right. So then the second time says the same thing. Hey, it's probably the
Battery, you said.
It was the cable, probably, like you said. But okay, so now, same thing. Hey, I want to give you $1,000. Same thing. But then this time, she SAs you. My question is,
Define the.
I'm not saying extreme, but you didn't want whatever.
I say no, and she continues
Exactly.
to go.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like forcing me down.
Mm-hmm. My question is, I know that act is despicable, but was it kind of?
You're gonna say, were they asking for it?
Of course, in the nicest way to put it, or not asking for it. Did you?
But you can't
disregard that just to get money? Is my question. Was that a disregard because you wanted just the money?
She said that she was going to massage me again the second time, and then didn't.
Same exact thing, yes.
And
but
then didn't.
But then went farther than you.
Went further than you wanted.
Yeah, then that's like not my problem. That's hers. That's like there's not like an asking for.
Well, there's no consent in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying when you tell that story to someone, do you think that they would be like, why would you go and do that and not think that anything was going to happen? Or would you be like...
Well, I mean, couldn't you just say that about anything in life? Like,
no, but that's why I said this exact... It's not has to do with anything. That's this scenario that I gave you.
yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is like with anything in life, if somebody is like telling you that they're going to give you something and or there's a trade in something and then it doesn't happen to be that way.
But when you know the trade sounds kind of funny and you disregard that, and then something happens to you,
Well,
I know you're a victim. I
know
get that.
Well, but then it's
no. But I'm saying, where's the culpable deny? Like,
well, you
have to have some kind of
like you're using this logic that people say of a woman is on the street that gets whether harassed, assaulted, or something. If she was dressing in a short skirt, like she was dressing provocatively, she was asking for it. It's the same line of reasoning. So it's like, what road do you want to walk down with that?
I mean, it's wrong, and I would tell if I'm telling that story to anybody, and the person were to say to me like, "Didn't you think that was coming?" I look at them like, "Clearly not," or "Why the fuck would I be telling the story to you?" Like, that's clear. Like, why would you ask me a dumb question if I saw it was coming? Like, I wouldn't be having this conversation, right?
Maybe not, obviously.
I mean, I feel like I'm just flipping on the other person. Like, that's a dumbass question. Like,
no,
because
the reverse side is naivete.
I mean, like, if the reality is like, okay, maybe you trust somebody, and that's what you're saying is like maybe you trust somebody too much or whatever, or too easily, for a weird thing. But at the end of the day, if there's a deal and the person goes over that, then you're like,
I think that's what's wrong with us right now. We're just like to disregard our own doings and certain things, not putting anything on anyone or saying anything is wrong. But sometimes people put themselves in very precarious situations.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away the fact that they're still a victim.
I never said that, but I said they put themselves first into a precarious situation. I mean, now what happens after
you're on a slippery slope with the way you word things, because it's like, this is this, and like that'd be like a lot of these girls in college that drink and go out and like go to parties and stuff, and they get assaulted.
And my question is, are they not putting themselves into a knowingly precarious situation?
Well, then you're also saying like men can't control themselves.
No,
and that's like,
my rebuttal would be then if you're doing something illegal, would you put yourself?
Why was it illegal?
I'm just trying to make something be precarious. Something could not happen well here, but I'm still putting myself in this situation.
Don't you smoke like while driving all the time?
Yeah.
isn't that a precarious situation? Don't
For
you
sure.
don't you have open
And I'm willing to take that responsibility because I'm putting myself into that and I'm willingly doing that. That's what I'm saying. I can't get mad at someone stopping me from me smoking weed. Do you get what I'm saying?
I mean, actually, maybe what I said was an incorrect thing because it's not really the same.
That isn't, but
Well, because yours is a choice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
involving you. It doesn't involve you're involving everyone else on the road, but like it's a personal choice. Whereas this is like a multiple
There's a lot
multiple
more
factors
factors that
of
put
it.
into
It's
it,
there's
yeah.
like the context and stuff. And
But I'm saying if you willingly put yourself into, like I said, a precarious situation,
So if you're
should you be held no fault if something bad happens to you?
No. That's why car insurance works. If you were driving and somebody hits you, in my opinion,
But a precarious situation in that would be you driving a car with no insurance.
no, my
That's a precarious
No, but my
situation.
statement is no, because drinking is not a precarious situation. You're making it into something. You didn't say anything about dudes drinking. You said anything about women drinking. Like drinking should not be and is not by itself a precarious situation. You're just
right.
drinking. So if you want to use that thing, I'd say, yeah, if you're driving on the road and somebody smashes into your car, then following your logic, you shouldn't be mad by it. It was your fault that you were on the road. You shouldn't have been driving. Why were you driving? Why did you buy a car? That's
like,
your
they say
fault.
like as in like driving in general is a precarious situation, whether you're under the sober or under the influence. So by that logic, if you get hit, like you said, like, oh, it's a precarious situation just walking out your front door and like getting in your car.
But it is though.
But at the same time,
That's what I'm saying. We're trying to live
if
in a world
someone
and act like it's
smashed your,
not.
if someone smashed your car,
Yeah.
are you not going to try to have them? Are you not going to be like, yo, you're paying for this?
Well, that's why I have insurance. I'm not going to drive a car without insurance because to me, that is a scary situation. I already know driving a car is scary and I could get hit at any time. So I put insurance on it to try to lessen my...
So then take that out. You have somebody in your car and they get killed.
Yep.
You can't put insurance on that.
You can't.
Are you going to hold the other person accountable from killing your friend? Even though you were the one driving.
People do. People don't. Yeah. It goes both ways.
But what would you do? Somebody hits you.
No,
from the side.
I'm legitimately processing it.
Well, I mean, because like
everything's situational.
Well,
like,
yeah,
but
like
your friend just died.
I'm saying I can't give you a definitive answer.
All right.
Everything's situational. I'm just saying that sometimes we like to blanket the fact that people willingly put themselves into positions, and sometimes I'm not saying anything about any sector now. I'm saying this is across the board because people do this all the time. They put themselves in situations and they don't want to take the repercussions for it, and they get pissed off and they try to get all upset when shit hits the fan.
I would not link this to the conversation we were having about Epstein because specifically those are underage. I think.
But that's why I was asking: are they all underage that work there?
That's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. It wouldn't be a problem if
so.
it's
Then
not
it's like,
underage.
how did they get to work there? That's why I was asking: like, how are they? How are they?
That's how the system. I mean, that you pick up.
Because like
No, but
whether or
camp
not
counselors, like,
whether
what are they doing
whether or
on,
not
like,
well whether or not they're getting either kidnapped and like because whether or not it's
Traded.
underage,
That's what I'm asking. Like,
it's
are
sex
their parents-
trafficking.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm asking. Like, are these like
Well,
you said,
like, no,
taken? Are they just there for the weekend?
No,
what's
well,
going on?
Well, no, like there are instances where like they're going and they're getting like they meet these parents and stuff, but they're like, oh, this is our intern. I believe there was specific things where it's like, oh, I'm working for
Intern.
Epstein on the weekends, and it starts out innocent enough, like they're doing like little odd jobs and stuff, like, and then it segues into something else, and then segues into deeper and deeper, and then it's like, I mean, I know you can't say like, oh, you've never felt uncomfortable around like a position of authority, whether it's like anyone, whether it's like a teacher, instructor, law enforcement, like
Yeah, no, I'm
it's
not
like
saying that at all. I'm
authority.
just saying I think in this situation, money talks, and I don't feel like 100% of.
Well, you do have a tendency to like victim blame, like, oh, they put themselves in the situation. And I'm not like saying specifically this, but like I've noticed like a common thread through like your kind of like reasoning for whether it's like a celebrity or like something like sports. It like has this kind of like common thread that it's like you just take a certain stance on something. Like I feel like it could be a little reductionist in terms of like context, because sometimes the context doesn't matter, because you kind of you do put a blanket statement on it. Like I think you'll say, oh, people have a tendency to put a blanket statement on it, and then you put a blanket statement saying, oh, people put themselves in this situation. How it does goes both ways. So how is that any more?
It's not anymore, but that is of what I'm asking. It's like, it isn't any more or less. So how is it that we like to go with more of this? It's no more less than that either, right?
I mean, so if we're just talking about Epstein, just that experience, just in that thing, because we can actually pull facts for a story. Like, we're talking about 16.
So then how are they over there? Is it like,
well, so let's just think. We had jobs when we were 16.
Fact.
Also, let's just think, I don't know their backgrounds, but we know in this world that parents sell their kids. Like, that is a thing. So I'm just saying. That's
more what I'm getting to.
So then also, if you're 16, you're dumb.
I'm not putting anything on the 16. I'm saying, how are they there?
But
if they're not kidnapped,
because money,
and that's what I'm saying.
That's
so
money.
Are we not holding the parents accountable? Like,
but
someone has to know what's going on.
Look at this, because then they find out of wrongdoing, and then they want to like prosecute, and then they like does money come into play? Money and power.
I get these people have mad money, and they probably don't want this shit to ever get out. But I don't feel they're just like taking kids off the street and holding them hostage. I feel like all these kids,
it's different. This is like
all
a
these
little
kids
more...
were there, like set up to, like you said, internships.
Well,
blah blah blah, like something.
This is
my parent knows I'm here.
Yes, maybe so. Also, maybe not so. Who knows if they even have parents? We don't have that information. We don't know where their parents are. We don't know the names, so we couldn't look it up. You know, but it is money that pays off every single view. Like this is quoting flight control and people like that on the tarmac when he flies in. He would just tip them all really high to look away. So all these people know, right? So yeah. So but the people that are coming out now aren't the parents or anything. It's the kids.
No,
and so they're coming out because now. I mean, I think the person's only 26 now, like 20.
She's 26. Yeah.
26.
No, but I'm not. And I don't think I like to victim bash or what you said. I'd like to just look at all the facts. I don't think, and like I said, I'm taking different stuff into consideration when I say this, but when parents were taking their kids to Neverland.
Yeah, but
yeah, just listen. When parents were taking their kids to Neverland, they took them there, and we don't know what happened. We know allegations, right? But we don't know
Jesus juice.
You know what I mean? But they take them there, leave them there with the guy that they've heard isn't true or not, but allegations are out that this is what he's doing, and you're leaving your kid over there.
Yeah. Well, and
I feel like that's like what's going on that island.
I hear you, but your take. So here's the lens of the problem. The lens of the problem's on the victim, which is the women, which is the girls, but you're putting it on their parents. Fuck the parents. That's not the issue. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the people that were the victims are now being like, they're speaking out. Following your logic, yes, if the parents are alive and well and kicking, they should be held accountable. Their names should be brought out.
As culpable as these
100%, but the story shouldn't drop away. To Josh's point,
I'm not saying it should.
But I think that's where when you say things, it does sound like you're kind of victim blaming because
I'm saying that
the shift, like, let's keep the fact that like the focus, the story is on the victims here, but
I'm saying the blame isn't put initially
totally
100% on who it needs to be put. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything about the victim. I'm saying the blame isn't being put on who it needs to be put on 100%.
And that's across the board on all things, because at the same, if we wanted to get to the nitty gritty of everything, we would look at society as the blame of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Obviously, a 16-year-old doesn't want to be doing this shit. I'm just saying, how is a 16-year-old there, especially in a lucrative area where there's affluence and money?
Yeah,
it's not like these kids' parents are just working at Stater Brothers.
They could be like. And if
you're right, you're right.
Yeah,
you're
like
right,
if they could be like, they are truly upset that the kid like comes forward and says and confesses to the parents like this has been happening, they're truly mortified. But if you are like, you know, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and then it's like you want to, but we know we live in this world where rich people, like, they have an army of lawyers. They can litigate you to bankruptcy,
and that's
and you're fighting for it. And
I just
you're
assume
still
these kids are coming from at least a upper median.
No,
I don't think
it could.
so.
It could be, but
I don't know.
most
But
likely,
that's what I'm just.
I mean, that's what's with the whole. In general, like, that's the people are exploiting vulnerable populations of like these. Maybe they were working like a summer job at a clothing store, and like they're like, oh hey, like somebody goes up to them, like this Ghislaine Maxwell. It's like, hey, like,
because that's
do you
what
want
I'm
this like
it's more
summer
less,
working opportunity?
Yeah. I'm not taking anything away, but it's just like I feel like at 16, your parent has to kind of know where you are.
Well,
shit.
no, like that's what I was saying. Like they meet these people,
but that's what
and
I'm
then
saying too.
and they're
you're
like,
willingly,
but they also have enough money to lie. Like I would say that the Epstein
and
has
I don't know
enough
what
to
the
make
lie
the
is,
parents
but I
look-
feel like there's greasing to somebody to allow, especially if somebody kind of is like, nah, this ain't right. It's like, oh, 100,
Well, I mean,
150,000?
this article is specifically saying like how all of like
how did they find him?
how they found who. Oh well, so one of the things it's saying that like, they picked some of the people could be from Paris, London, Slovakia, Mexico, Morocco, and in every single area.
So they weren't even American.
Not all of them. No.
But I believe a lot of the ones that are coming forard, these are American because like,
well, because you can only come forward on American soil, I imagine, and
Yes,
I'm guessing law-wise, you could
legality
probably.
or something.
But you're flying all around. You're getting picked. It doesn't say necessarily in terms of exactly like where they're being picked up. I would say, since it seems like, you know, he's in Palm Beach in New York City, I'm sure that both those areas are probably the main areas, which are full of, you know, huge populations. So
different kind of people.
Yeah, and in terms of the essay portion of it, I'm imagining that at the very beginning, none of the people had any concerns. Now, how does a parent? I don't know, because I would, you know, who's asking the questions, who's talking to them, what's that
That's
look
what
like?
I'm saying. And I get it. I'm using, I guess, narrow discernment when I'm asking these questions. But like, this is where my mind would be coming from. I'm not leaving my kid with some.
well, you're also like,
But you know the story.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean,
well, Maxine was like finessing and getting people.
But like, you can look down at the story like this now.
You're right.
Back then, you wouldn't have had that.
yeah,
view.
this is
You're
like
right.
the 2000s, 90s, 2000s. Like, I feel like whether people had a lot more trust in like
money,
businessmen, corporations,
because he had a name back then.
governments.
Both of them were rich.
Yeah,
right?
but they were just like known for like real estate or
But no,
whatever.
that's what I'm saying. They had a
so they're
name,
like,
like,
oh, like this guy.
trustworthy,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, you can really go somewhere if you get this working opportunity. I don't know. I can't say, but
It
I
would
don't
be like
think.
if this happened at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, I don't think this is
Like-
like they're immediately taken and it's like, oh, it goes
No,
into
it's
this
a
like
groom
sex trafficking
process,
thing.
I
It's
would
a,
assume.
yeah, exactly. Like grooming, like things appear fine at first. And so then, you know, as a kid, like this person is giving you a lot of money and the parents trust it, and like you're giving whatever to the parents, you're contributing, and like everything is fine at first, but then
it
I think it's a slow thing. It's a complex web of complicity from many different angles. And
No, you're right.
yeah.
Now, I will
100%.
say he was a convicted pedo
Before.
So I would.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But so let's take that. He's on the Virgin Islands. That's where his, you know, clearly that should show people how the power of money, because that's clearly him paying off every single person.
And that did get like, he was convicted, but it got buried very
buried.
Oh,
deeply.
yeah.
And it's like not until now that we're like, oh, like we should see a pattern forming, but without the internet, we wouldn't know these things.
You're right. No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
You know, so
No, and I don't want to take nothing away from victims. I'm sorry if I sound like I feel like, or
No, I
sounds
think-
like I say that, but that's not where I'm coming from or me.
Yeah, I know your
at
thought
all.
process is like very, it's like when you're saying stuff, you're figuring it out.
I'm
as you're
figuring it
going
out as
along,
I'm going, exactly.
And it can appear that you
Yeah, no, I'm
are
not,
following a certain
I'm
logic.
Not like
but it's,
I wasn't even
You're built
talking
different.
about. I wasn't
You're
even
built
talking
different,
about the victim when I was.
that's why
talking.
Yeah.
Like
I generally think in the sense of these conversations, what gets people riled up when you're talking, not you talking, but like when you hear the riled up side of things, is when the focus moves away from the victim, which is kind of what we were talking about last week. It was like the difference between an accuser and a victim, and it's mainly just like once you change the wording, the narration changes and it moves the focus. But like for this specifically, you can't. I mean, there is no moving the focus off of.
It's tough because they were kids, they were underage.
Yeah,
and I'm just saying, it would seem, I would just say at least one parent got probably money off of this.
Oh, I'm sure many. And it's
easy,
like, well, because then there's like, NDAs, and there are parents coming forward that like we are partly responsible for this, but like, we got to speak out. We accepted money to cover this.
I appreciate that because I just don't want to be like all these celebrities and these people are the only bad people. It's like there's negligence. I'm not putting nothing on the kid, but there's negligence on their parents.
Yeah.
However, they're over there. There's mad negligence.
Well, every single person that turns and looks the other way, I'm not hating on them.
The cooks, the chefs.
Yeah, but everyone's basically, if it was an actual crime and everyone was that was committed and you were being held like you were found guilty, every hand regularly, like, if I kill someone and you know it, and you don't come out and say, "Oh, I knew it," and then it comes out that you knew it, well, now you're held. Like now you're accomplice.
It's a lot of like turning a blind eye. Like, look at those pilots that were flying these young girls, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't see anything, but like I could put dots in, but I have no evidence."
Well over what I should have just to fly them here.
Well, specifically with like the Stephen Hawking thing, there was mention of Epstein looking like. The way it's worded, it's like, I want to find witnesses to disprove that this didn't happen.
Exactly.
Which is like, I'm going to pay off these people. Like, are there people we could pay off that like will?
That's all you have to do is try to spin a different narrative enough that's plausible enough to make people be like, that's possible.
Well, yeah. To maybe segue into something that you're also extremely, there's a lot of interest. I guess to segue into a topic that's. A little less contentious, but very interesting.
Very interesting. Still contentious.
I mean, because we learned about it last week, but you've studied a little bit. Researched.
I've researched.
Trey researched Gypsy Rose.
I do empathize with her now. She was done wrong.
You want to go facts into it?
Yeah. I mean,
at least some.
Yeah. Her mom was really just. She had
Munchausen's by proxy.
By proxy. So she was just really. A bad person, and she seemed like she was a swindler too. So she had forged records and stuff to get all kind of drugs and procedures done to this girl. So I mean, she was put through the ringer.
What were some of the things that actually got done to?
She had her salivary glands removed.
That's crazy.
Because of something. Basically, she was on so much medication, she was like unable to walk. So she thought she was like
couldn't
walk. She thought she had like leukemia. She had like all her teeth removed. I think she constantly cut her hair type.
Yeah, shaved
it. Like basically, it was just like
terrible.
Barely keeping her alive to just get money coming in. Type. Well,
it seems too like because we were talking about the Munchausen's thing, and like how could you like really believe that as you're going on?
That was my initials. Like when I hear it, I'm just like, how? I get it. Up until like I said, 13. If you're not around people, I get it. But if you're around people, like.
But like probably being like so heavily medicated, like
that's what
to the outer appearance, like like they're a special needs child, like
that's exactly what I'm assuming people probably equated it to because she looked just messed up and it's sad. But I mean the whole situation is sad. But I don't know if I feel like she should be out though.
Why not?
Because I feel like. This is going to sound so bad, but I feel like you could be damaged to the point of no return. And I feel that just it's so sad to say, but like she was just stripped of any kind of normalcy in life. I feel like she can't really function in society, and what she's doing now, I feel like is a great act.
What part? Because what do you mean by like what she's doing right now?
I'm normal.
Well, you don't think
like how?
She served her time.
I get that.
What's normal?
She seems like she was raised as a normal person talking the way she does now. She doesn't seem like she's been through anything that's like.
Well, I mean, like, wouldn't you like to give her the ability to be greater than?
Sometimes people can't get that luxury.
But like, shouldn't you give
can't.
it to them?
Some people we say shouldn't be rehabilitated to the point of re-immersion in society.
That's usually said to like serial killer, like Dahmer eating people.
And I'm saying I don't feel her mind works that much differently because of how it was raised.
So you don't believe in like healing? Like you don't think 7 years of like therapy and like would do anything to a person to like?
Are you believing me? I'm sorry. Are you asking me do I believe in healing, or are you asking me do I believe our jail system?
No, this is like for her because like
I don't
think
believe our jail system heals people. So
yeah, that's true.
I don't know where the healing would come from.
I would say that like she's a special case, obviously.
Honestly.
not and
this is a one
taking into consideration, skin color, but also like I'm sure she's received a lot of like
love.
Special attention, therapy.
Do you think she was in jail?
No.
So then she could have actually been.
No.
Minimum security?
No, he's asking me, do I think that she was in a place where they were
rehab
saying they were helping her? And I'm saying that those places could not help her either.
I just feel like.
I think jails, they try to institutionalize you, and I don't feel like you go to jail to be rehabbed.
I mean.
So I don't think anybody necessarily goes to jail unless it's on their own, like, will and rehabs. If they rehabbed in jails because they did that shit themselves.
So you don't think she did that herself?
I don't know. I don't think so though. No, I think that she's been too traumatized.
I guess then
like what's
because she's an extreme case, but then like in a lot of cases of abuse, that's as a child you've been abused, whether physically, verbally, mentally, like sexually, like abused since you were like a child up until like your teens and stuff. You don't think those people can recover
statistics
from that?
Normally points to these people having a way more troubled life. And that's just statistics.
Yeah, well, I would agree with statistics because not even now, like there's the systems are not in place to support these people as much as like the criminal justice system. There's no systems in place for rehabilitation and healing, and like it's all carceral. It's punishment. It's not rehabilitation.
What was done her like psychological warfare type stuff. You know, I don't know how she actually reassimilates in the world.
But wouldn't you think that she deserves a chance to prove herself, just like any other victim of abuse
for life? She can make it up there.
I mean, you don't believe in that. You really think that person just because like it wasn't her fault? Like you're saying that because of somebody's situation, they should be jailed.
It happens.
But you're saying regardless if it happens.
I'm just following the normal protocol.
No. That's
the normal
easy way out, bro.
Like this is not normal trade deflection. Like because you just said something that countered what you just said. You're like, these systems aren't in place to heal, and then you're like, it happens, and that's just like upholding the unfair, unjust systems. Like. So, like, because it's like that, then.
But what I'm really saying is, this is gonna sound worse.
Good.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I would like that.
But okay, and I have to use this as an example because it's the first one that came to my mind. But it's like when you have an animal, and I'm not saying that I'm not equating her to that, but I'm saying when you do have an animal and you've beat this animal for 10 years, and then you try to reemerge it into society. It normally doesn't make it, right?
I would say it normally...
it has to have a lot of love. It's got to have a lot of caring and nurturing. It's got to have almost a whole new life bestowed into it.
To counter what you're saying is, like, I think a lot of times, especially now, like, you can see people place more value on animals than on people.
Yeah.
As evidenced by many dogs being pushed in strollers around Los Angeles. But I mean, I think a lot more of those systems, like say specifically for animals, if the dog or animal is problematic, it gets put to sleep. But if it gets to a rehabilitation thing, it does get showered with the love and time.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I think that's, if in an ideal world, that's humans would get the same chance, but it's not the same. So I would say, like, that example doesn't really work.
She deserves it, but I think that she's mentally inapt, and that's just my opinion. I think that she's got something, and at any instant she's liable to do anything.
What about people that live in like highly contentious areas? Like, you know, like
what do you mean?
Like
gang ridden?
Yeah, like South Chicago, South Side. Like people that are like,
well, I could be like our system and say it shouldn't have any effect. Whatever you do is what you do. So what I'm saying is, what she did, I don't feel like she can come back from.
But you said it shouldn't have any effect. So it means like I hear what you're saying. Also, though, like in a scenario where like somebody is in a terrible,
this is life we're talking about.
Yeah.
I know.
So like you just because people have traumas, like huge traumas that are they're subjected to those things because of that. Now that they have to basically continue to have even more trauma by being locked up for the rest of their life. Is that what you really believe?
No.
What does Trey believe?
I believe that's the circle.
Well, no,
of life
you don't. Yeah, we all believe that's how things are, but like, we're not talking about how the government believes. Like, we're talking about, what do you believe?
I mean, if I were to say that I feel like everyone that does anything should just be forgiven, I would be lying. If I feel like everyone needs to be incarcerated for everything they do that's illegal, I would be lying.
Totally.
So my point is, in this specific situation, I feel like she had too much. She was raised up by wolves too hard to be put in with people. She's too Mowgli for us.
So I gave.
But Mowgli,
it was a story.
He gets integrated into society.
That's
though.
a story.
I mean,
isn't this a story?
This is reality.
Shouldn't she have at least the same ability?
Yes, she should in jail. I'm not taking that away from her.
Well, what
in
about,
jail, you said there is no chances.
What,
so you're saying she should essentially just stay in jail and be locked up
what
in a carceral.
What about like SA?
Same thing.
But they're not.
I know, and they should be. That's all I'm saying. She shouldn't be out with people.
If you do anything, because I mean, any act will affect your psychology, will affect the mental. So basically, no one should ever leave jail unless it's like a petty crime.
Dependent on
let's say something that could be maybe a more direct example that could be compared. So, like, say a woman is in an abusive marriage and she's abused for years, and then like to a point she self-defends herself and kills her husband. Would you say that like she's been put through years and years of abuse and trauma, like she gets thrown in jail, serves her time, you think she shouldn't be let out because the trauma is too great and she can't be integrated into society?
Obviously, she could have left. There was something that said this person has to go.
I mean, should have left is kind of a crazy term because
in his situation.
Wait, are you saying should have or could have?
Both.
Well, I mean, that takes away from that.
Could have.
That's taking the stance that you
should have.
That's still taking the stance.
Well, have you heard of like
view that they don't? That you have a
have
view.
the luxury too.
Well, I mean, I think in a lot of those situations they don't have the luxury. Like, do you know what financial abuse is?
I can understand where that notion could come from, but I also feel like everyone has wherewithal over their flesh suit, and what you do with your flesh suit.
You give way too much. I mean,
You kind of laugh at me for like talking about ideals in a perfect
I'm very
world.
idealistic, I know.
But then you're like, this is reality.
You just believe way too much in this idea that like people always have 100% like
autonomy,
conscious power and awareness, which like no one does. Like no one does.
But in the situation or in the example you proposed, what could have been an alternative?
For what?
In the one Josh said, if
I'm saying like this, and then like
because
the way you guys are talking makes it sound like that's the only
No, I'm
the
not
only
saying
thing that
like
could have
I'm
been
not
done.
saying that's the
People
out. I'm
can
saying
leave.
this is what happened, and then you say
And
like
I'm
the
saying
only
because
thing
of
is
what
because
she
that went to
did-
jail.
People can leave. In abusive relationships, doesn't have to be a she or it can be a he. People can leave.
Mhm.
Generally, the reason why they don't is because there is some type of
Control, isolation.
yeah. Well, I won't say you could say control, but like there's some type of a relationship in there, whether it be so. In that sense, people don't leave.
And what I'm saying
And
is,
they don't leave because the awareness of leaving does not exist in their mind until one day these levels of staying and going swap to the point of like, oh shit, I really need to leave, or I'm gonna kill him.
And what I'm saying is, once it gets to that level, and you say these are my two options, and I do choose option B, prepared to take the consequences.
Yeah, I understand that.
Don't be like.
But what about every single person that comes back from war? I would say that none of them should be allowed to be back into our. Following your logic,
Which war?
any of them, you're killing people.
Well, you gotta be specific. 'Cause I would say it was a willful choice for them to go over there, unless they got drafted.
Still, though,
Because they were getting monetary compensation.
but you're acting in a way that is not aligned with my society, with society norms. You were just whatever.
But in war, it is aligned.
No,
It is.
not in society. Not in society.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not
aligned with
It's
separate
not-
places society.
It is not aligned in our society. That's why we don't have wars on our land. That's why, like we don't have what war besides the Civil War and the Revolutionary War has been on our land. Like
War on
we
drugs, war on black people, war on gay people.
I mean, those aren't really wars with guns that you're killing. Like, I'm talking about the fact that when you were in the army, you were told what to do and you do it. You pull the trigger, you
But why
kill
are
the
you in the
person, you
army?
kill the family. Who knows, man?
No, I do. You chose it.
Your idea of choice, though, you're acting like you choose.
So unless it's a draft, how'd you get into the army?
But okay, so Gypsy Rose chose to stand up and go against her mom and get her at that time boyfriend to kill her mom. That's a choice.
And she should stay in jail.
So
because
I
of
would
that
say
choice.
then that the people who made choices to go to the army should be okay with never being allowed to be back into our society. It's their choice.
That's fine with me. They're choosing to do something for money, so that's fine with me. Whatever. I'm fine with that.
But I mean,
They're choosing to do that for money.
yeah, but then wouldn't you say then like every single person that basically has done damage and bad should not be in society? That's
little
basically
bit.
what you're saying.
You don't like really waiting
bit.
in the gray. You're
but
kind of like so.
But like, what about every single gang member?
Okay, I don't know a lot of them.
No, but I'm just saying.
It's not like they did anything great. We just know stories about them. So okay, get them out of here.
So you're
Whoa.
just saying anybody that does anything bad shouldn't be in the society.
A little bit.
But
They didn't
You've
do
never
enough.
done anything bad?
Not to the point of like that. I never tried to. No, absolutely no, no. To the point to where it's like detrimental to someone's like no.
what about your family? No, what about your family?
Oh, like
what about a family member that did do things
no,
that,
yeah,
and then was allowed to come back and excel, and you've actually had a life that's
I
been
mean,
blessed.
I would
on.
say me. Like I've been to jail. Like
No,
you don't
but-
think like I should be allowed back in society?
that's why I said situationally. Her situation, she made a choice to do something that was going to for sure have this outcome.
I mean,
The only other outcome was it got botched, and her mom would live.
yeah, but I mean,
That's what I'm saying. And when you're making these kind of things like essays, stuff like that, no, you shouldn't be able to come back.
What
Petty
about
little stuff where
embezzlement?
it's like, come back. Who cares? Like that's what you're not hurting anyone.
But you don't know that. You don't.
You're right.
I mean, so it's really just kind of saying that you're drawing these lines on things that you decide are ethical and non-ethical.
Well, when I'm saying hurting
You're playing
someone,
God.
it's you're not physically hurting someone by embezzling money. They may be emotionally hurt, maybe
I mean-
financially, but you're not physically.
Well, but then so if
You have
it's
no
not
idea
physical,
though if someone
if it's
lost a job because of it. You have no idea if somebody's.
But that's the spiral effect from you didn't physically harm them.
Yeah, but then you're saying
That's just
like,
not
as long
taking
as there's no
credit.
physical harm, then there's no accountability. Like,
No,
type of
I'm
thing?
saying
Like,
in
or-
embezzling, there could be a very small marginal for physical harm. I'm talking about when you physically harm or do something to where it's like intentional. We know it's proven. Don't come back
Should Will Smith be allowed back?
because he slapped Chris. That was just a slap.
that's physical harm.
Intentional.
There was intent.
No, I got you, but it's like
Yo, bro, if you use the words, I'm gonna use
no,
them
I got
against
you. I got you. And no, he can be rehabilitated from that because the malice he displayed in his heart wasn't enough to. He didn't want to eradicate Chris Rock off the planet. He just wanted to slap him.
I mean, who knows? He might have thought that.
He thought he could slap him to hell?
Yeah, he might have. Bro might have thought he could slap him to death.
And that's what I feel like a judicial system is supposed to be. Like we're supposed to have
Isn't-
these things that are you can't come back from, or at least
Well, isn't her ex the one that did the killing?
he did. No, that's why I said I
He's
think
not coming back.
he ain't coming back.
Yeah, he's got life.
hmm
Yeah.
But I feel like he got it because of how vicious his part was. Like he didn't just end her mom's life.
He didn't.
No, she had no physical harm in that. So,
Yeah,
but
she didn't do
yours
it.
is like, just like through manipulation.
Yeah,
But then that's not physical harm.
her manipulation.
I would just say
Killed
that. I would
someone.
just say though, it's not her fault. It's the dude's fault. He was soft.
That's what. Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, she didn't do anything.
That was the mom's fault. She was asking for
She was
it.
just out here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Physical harm.
I just don't think she should be out here with people. But
You
hey,
just don't like her eyeballs.
or her teeth, lack thereof, her little weird mouth. Like she doesn't look normal.
I don't even want to touch that one. I know Trey's standards of beauty are it's a high bar to rise up to.
Like this is what I'm saying, guys. Like, come on, we're acting like she's a fucking Angelina Jolie or something.
Bro, it's so funny because you were like living Sparta. Like you be throwing those babies into the baby hole. Like you be like, yo, this baby ain't good. And that baby's gone. Nope, you get kicked into that death pit, bruv.
We want a strong lineage, don't we?
To be honest, you do stay very, very consistent. So
Very much so.
I don't necessarily align with all your consistencies at time. And sometimes I question them, but
That's totally what we should be
I
doing.
suppose, yeah. I mean, so wait, if I killed someone, you wouldn't want your homie to be able to be back into the world?
But it's not up to me what I want.
No, this is up to you. Like
You're saying this? Yeah, of course. You can want stuff.
No, I'm saying I'm the Gypsy Rose story.
And this. Okay.
Say, Sean, I love you, but
Like,
You
You
really
really-
think we made it to be that good of friends while you had all those?
You really think you really think if it's
She
somebody
didn't
that
have no friends.
but it's somebody
No, I get what you're saying. No, I would. But that's
Situational.
But then that goes back to my point. Is like, how did she think she was that
no
sick?
At-
Like somebody
Nah.
should have said a best friend. Would be
Nah.
like, bro, you're not sick.
Nah,
Sean,
but-
you're not sick.
but if
Sean, you can walk.
If my shits was no, because think about that. Think about that. My
No, I know.
All that
I
stuff
know,
out.
I know.
So-
no, she was hurting.
Yeah. So
No, I would want you to.
So if you knew the person and stuff like that,
I would want you to for sure.
Yeah.
I would want you to.
but if Sean wasn't attractive and if he was funny looking, then you'd be like,
Your eyes
no.
got half an inch closer together. They can keep your ass.
You're
Damn.
walking on a thin line with those eyes, right?
I suppose it's kind of nice because if you're Trey's friend, you know you're good looking.
Ooh, you said it.
Yeah, but you didn't deny it.
Oh, okay, Kat. Okay, Kat.
Altercations. It
I was in an altercation. Gypsy Rose was in an.
She was in an altercation.
No,
She was
it
not in
is-
an altercation.
It is situationally. She should, like her situation, she should be able to try to get a second. Like,
Until-
I
had
could
everything-
understand the
she had
sense.
everything taken from her.
I could understand the sense of parole officer scenario and you having like a fucking
She definitely needs to be monitored. She needs to be doing.
yeah. I
classes. She needs
understand
to
all
meet
that.
kind of
100%.
stuff.
100%. Yeah, because I do agree. You're not getting that in jail. 100%.
Not 100%.
No one is trying to rehab you in our system. And then the fact that she was 32, I think, right now. So you take that 7 years back. So she was 25. 25 years of being.
That's what I'm.
That is enough trauma to really. So yeah,
that was a strong run.
It was, but I'm gonna say for sure, no, she definitely does need a second chance.
Yeah.
Well, because
I would also say though, 25 years of massive trauma. I wouldn't be stupid to say that she can just go out in the world and be chill. Like no one should say that, and I would hope that part of the system has her.
I mean, she's gonna be. She's under scrutiny. She's a public figure now. Like she's famous and stuff. But I mean, like, look at. I mean, this is. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like, look at Michael Jackson. He was like, very controlled from a young age, and
Britney
you
Spears,
saw,
like,
you see this, and but like, I think what Kat was saying, we put these people in certain situations, and we see something out of pocket happens, and then we're like, why could you do that even though it's totally expected?
Yep.
And that's something I think we're happy maybe with Gypsy. Like, oh, she wild out.
But like also completely expected. Or post story, we know all the information.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see how
if it was a book I was reading or a movie, I could be like, yes, that plot has great alignment.
No, yeah, it's sad. No, it's sad, and we all need grace, and we all do deserve, every freaking inch we get to try to, make a better life, because this world ain't easy.
Because all the systems are, set up for us to like fail and struggle.
Easy,
it's like when you hear success stories about people like immigrants coming over and stuff, like. It's
far and few.
Yeah, it's like almost more the exception rather than a rule. Like the American dream is not the same for everyone. So
it's not achievable for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, and it is.
I mean, it's the American dream makes me laugh, and I think
I feel like it's the same for everyone. It's just not achievable.
I really think it makes me laugh too, because I am a white middle class male straight American, and when you hear about people like being like, "Oh, I can, if you can dream it, you can do it." I'm like, damn, the whole world out here being like, looking at America with the idea of you can dream it, you can do it.
But doesn't our generation believe that, though?
Well, and it does
we were
work.
the first ones to really believe that, right?
But that's the thing.
No, it's like since the 50s.
I think it has.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, that was the whole nuclear family.
Oh.
But the funny thing about that story is we think because one person did it, for some reason, we can do it. Like, think about if you went around life thinking that about everything. Be like, what? That's a stupid. I would say you're mentally ill. Be like, oh, MJ can dunk from the free throw line. I can.
Well, I look at it from the dumb but realistic perspective where someone has done it. So
it's
I look
possible.
At it, if I worked my 100% ass off.
I don't even agree with that. It's possible for humans. I just might not be that human.
No. But that's what I'm saying. I know that it is possible.
Like
in general.
In general.
Well, like
I may not have the. They say mental capacity, physical capacity to do this, but someone
totally. I mean, like and then let's take the kid who broke Tetris. 13-year-old kid broke Tetris.
30 years.
I was
right?
gonna do that one. That was great.
30 years,
like insane.
Son of a gun.
How long was it?
30. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's been out.
I saw the thing. It was like
no, it's got the 80s.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's like our
I saw
age,
3.
man.
I believe he's 13.
He's 13.
13, and he was the first human to beat Tetris.
Which, by the way, beating, all it means is that the system
it ends.
It ends.
There's no more.
Finally saw the actual kill screen.
Yeah.
Like where it just goes black.
AI has beat it. AI
is the only one that's done it.
This is the very first kid.
How long did it take him?
30 minutes or some shit.
38
like
minutes or something.
So you have to play Tetris straight through. You have no lives.
You have to keep on playing all the way through. And I don't know if you watched the video.
I didn't. I just saw the headline.
Like
the way they play now is like
I fast forward
the controller sideways.
I fast forward to see him go. I was like, dude, how are you even moving those things? But so taking what you're saying, this kid played the game that's been out for, I'm just gonna say 38 years. I'm guessing it's right around there. No one's done it, but he did it. I also hope the people out there aren't thinking, well, now I'm just gonna
sit around.
I can do the same thing too. I mean, people will.
They can't though, because
No.
think of just about if you're in anything. If we were a skater in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Looking at a skater.
You
Now.
could not even think that those are physically possible.
You wouldn't understand it. It wouldn't compute.
Because
It
kids are
wouldn't
doing like
compute.
Tony Hawk shit now.
Yeah,
Like,
they really are.
At like 11.
Yeah, like upstairs. I'm like, bruh, what the hell?
Yeah, no, so we're getting better with. Yeah, I see how a kid, could beat a 30-year-old game in 30 minutes. And today, like, I could see that.
I mean, the fact that what's interesting to me about that is, does that mean, because only AI has ever done it? So this is the first kid that's done it. He's 13, right? So he was born in 2010, right? So he's basically been alive for the whole digital era. Does that mean his brain's working like a computer now? Like, I don't think we could do it. I bet you
I don't think we are physically.
I don't think we could do it. I think we could sit there all the
can't even
whole
solve a
fucking
Rubik's
time,
Cube,
dude. But
So, I'm
Bro,
a bad
Andreas,
barometer.
shout out Andreas. I can't figure out Rubik's Cube either. He can't either. His fucking 10-year-old kid, he's
Knocked
done
it?
the 16 by 16.
what?
He could do the 3 by 3 in like a minute.
There's
bro.
people who could do it without
They-
looking.
yeah,
They look at it and they're just like,
He can do. He's got them all. He's got the 3 by 3, the 4 by 4, the 6 by 6, the 8 by.
Dude,
I didn't even
what-
know they made
when
them
did you
beyond
say
that.
he did those?
I think like a 16 by
That's
16,
crazy.
dude. It looks crazy.
That's crazy.
probably doesn't even take them a whole day, huh?
No,
I mean, that
and
hurts
it's
my head.
It's like this big in his little hands.
Do you think that type of, like, what do you think that takes away from? Because if it's,
Social skills.
you think so? Like, if
has
you
to.
if it's going towards this, like, what seems like computing, like hand-eye computing, because those Tetris pieces were fucking flying.
You can't even make them
and you
like.
could see like
Yeah.
the score.
trace.
It was like it was max. It was like 9999
Yeah.
top score.
Yeah, it was-
current
it
score
was-
999.
Yeah.
Like he already beat the scoring system. Could not even.
You
keep
couldn't
up.
go.
It's like,
Yeah, and all you and your eyes are seeing the piece and the space, and
or he might not even be looking at the piece like he's lining up, but he's looking at the next piece.
that's
But yeah, but
that's what I
then
mean.
looking at
That's what I
next
mean. He's
piece,
looking at the piece with the
and then-
space,
but-
and like,
I mean, think about it. We learned math the same way our parents learned math.
writing.
We
it.
learned how to
write it
add.
out. Yep,
Fingers.
Same way our parents learned how to add and multiply and divide.
little abacus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, the kids nowadays,
Not
they're
all.
doing this core math shit where it's literally, you just got to know how to do the pattern.
It's a pattern.
Bruh, you can multiply 5-digit numbers by just doing a pattern. And that's how they're teaching kids math now because it's
Wow.
quicker.
Yeah,
It's easier.
yeah.
Gotta keep up with China. You know what I mean?
I mean,
So
yeah,
you
but
mean
they're
that's
plugged
what-
in.
But you're thinking like China did this probably like 10 years
10
ago.
years ago.
Yeah,
So we're
Yeah.
just now
We're
catching up.
just-
but the fact that we did Tetris before the Russians has to mean something, because it's a Russian game
That's crazy though. No one's beat that game.
ever, besides an AI.
It was made in 85, so it's 38.
Yeah, it's a 38. Yeah, I mean, so like that's crazy. That many years have passed and no one ever did it. And I do think that the only reason why a 13-year-old can do it now is because the
Played video
Brain
games.
is-
clearly
life.
the brain's different. There's
They're built
things that
It
are
is
happening
different,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, there's different things happening in people's brains to be able to do stuff like that.
Well, and plus the games from like the 80s, they're very, I would say, one-dimensional into where you don't have to do too many things.
You have to figure out the pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern.
Tetris it don't do much, just
But it's
5
just
shapes.
faster and faster
It's just
and
faster and
faster.
faster and faster. There's only 5 shapes or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
We
you
should,
can only move it 4 places.
We should do an almost never study with Taylor. We'll get some electrodes and have him play
Have him
skate
play
to
some
Tarkov.
skate.
Yeah, I would
Like,
love
you
to
just
see
see
what
what
because
part of the
I would
brain
love
is
to see what
lighting
part of the brain lit up for that kid. Because it had to be
different part.
it had to be
It's a
so
different part.
focused the whole damn time, and the rest of it had to be turned off, like nuts. Good for
Quantum
him.
computing.
Good for him. Good, like
Gnarly.
Shout out, kid.
yeah. I mean, shout out the fact that you're 13 and this is going to be your claim to fame. I hope
will be probably.
I hope it doesn't sink you. Hopefully that Trey lets you back into the world, because I don't know, man.
Can you come back?
Can you come back from I don't know if you can come back from
He's
it.
like, I beat Tetris. I'm like, what does that
What
mean?
else have you done?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Can you do
You
my
don't know how to
taxes?
read.
You do my taxes. Yeah, what if they don't? Can you talk to me?
LOL.
Yeah.
That's dope though. Like 35 years, 38 years.
38 years. Willis, shout out Willis Gibson.
There you go.
That's
Shout out.
yeah, shout out Willis
Shout out
Gibson.
Willis.
Big Willie style.
Yeah.
What you talking
oh, wait,
about,
wait,
Willis?
wait. We were close. 1988.
Okay.
So 35 years.
35.
Ish.
Oh,
Yeah. I wonder if. Oh yeah, the Tetris CEO said congratulations. That's good.
He's alive.
I guess so. Yeah.
Well, he's probably a young kid that made
But
it.
that's kind of funny.
Huh.
He said a feat that defies all preconceived limits of this game. So like they literally were like, no one's
They
ever.
thought it was
It's impossible.
Well, it just kept on going. It's like there's no way someone could.
I'm
Yeah, they designed it past the human, like, because like the creator didn't even beat it.
Damn.
yeah.
It just ran.
Yeah, they never did
ran an
it.
algorithm to be like,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is like physically
they ran-
impossible to like
yes,
process.
They ran an
Can you do this?
algorithm
Yeah.
to be like, what is impossible to beat?
Let's do that,
Let's see if it can do it.
and then we'll go a little bit farther, and then
That's
Yeah.
crazy. You know that?
we don't need to make an ending because nobody's ever going to beat it. And he just broke the game.
Yeah, that's what you all thought.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Shout out.
super
I
shout
guess
out.
to like stick on the AI tip of you just learned about Midjourney, right? I mean, you know about
No,
Midjourney.
I don't.
but you
I
just-
don't. I know of it. I understand it,
I'm
but I
lost.
don't know anything about what. Because have you been to the website?
I got to sit back and
I
listen.
tried to do it. I know shout out Millicent. I know she's used it to like make some like I think concepts or something
Is this open AI or something?
This is generative AI but with like images.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Is it free?
It is free.
it is free.
It is free. So
And it's
With
got,
ads?
no.
I'm just
And it's
kidding.
got some like for the so it's. I'm just going to read this. Midjourney is an independent research lab exploring new mediums of thought and expanding the imaginative powers of human species. We are a small self-funded team. I'm curious on the funding on design, human infrastructure, and AI. They have basically opened this up. You can join the beta. They have all the documentation. It's kind of like the white papers are all there, and you just sign your name up. And you can go through. I am pretty impressed, dude. Like they got dudes from NASA, from
Is
Apple.
it strictly photos?
image based.
It's so
Yeah.
Image based AI, generative AI. So it's like you type in prompts similar to ChatGPT, but it's like make a photo or make an image of a woman
None of those are real.
standing on a grassy green hill. And then to make it look like how you want it, you do like make a photo of a Asian American woman with shoulder length hair dressed in clothing
So it's like-
of the style of this. So the more specific you can get, and like you can give it directives of like in the style of the clothing in the style of the Gucci spring summer
And where does the
2018.
source material come from?
Well, that's the whole thing because it scrapes the internet, and the
Yeah.
whole like I guess the whole controversy is how it's the images and well just the photographs and images that it's learning from. It's taken from artists without their consent,
Mm-hmm.
and so like you could say make like a stencil in the
Form
style of Banksy.
And then boom.
And like, yeah, he didn't consent to have, or they, or whoever it was, like they didn't consent to having their art learned from in this, like, with this algorithm. And it came out that I think there's a class action lawsuit against them, and it's came out that I think it's got to be more than that, but it's like 40,000 artists that like their artwork has been taken from to like have this system learn from.
I mean, just scrolling through that the images that you can like see, like this. I know, like I'm like, okay, I know an artist that looks like a lot like that, like that. You can tell like all of these are,
And it's anywhere from like Pixar style to photorealistic to like anything, like any sort of video game, like Pokemon, movie posters. Like you can, it's extremely powerful. Like it's scary powerful.
this shit's creepy to me because the dude who did this one's Benny888. Now I'm gonna say that Benny's probably a guy, just a guess. Two beautiful young Asian women, like, and like this, that looks like you just stole two faces, and
Yeah, it looks like a photo.
it looks straight up like a photo. Like, that's kind of creepy. You'd be just making like, I guess
You
fake.
have to screenshot that.
Yeah. Gotcha. I mean, well, I'm gonna try. Maybe we can just do a video
We'll
of it
scroll.
scrolling. Yeah, and then have it.
Well, if you do, and send it to me the video.
Yes, I will.
Yes,
I will.
sir.
No, that's crazy, but I mean, it's a catch-22 because when you're an artist, I guess once you sell your product, it's kind of open for.
Well,
Whatever.
yeah, but they're not selling these images. It's like it could be on a website of their portfolio.
No, I
and
know
it's
if
like,
they
yeah.
were to sell it though, like say if you sold it and then
Yeah, I mean, like as any artist in a creative endeavor, once you put your art into the world, you have no control over it.
Yeah.
But if I guess this is like taking it to like an
An
extreme. It's
extreme,
like,
yeah.
if you show it to anybody on
If
the
it
internet,
exists.
then it's
If it exists.
it's open game,
Yeah.
open season to like.
Especially for artists, because you just hit it portfolio. Like that's kind of how you do that's how you show your work. You're not trying to sell that work, or it's not trying to be ripped from you, but this allows you to do it. Music's a bit different because there's rules. You can take anything, but if you're gonna make money off it, that's where the conversation comes into play.
Well, I feel like that's for art too, right? You could take whatever, but if you're making money,
I suppose so, but this is melding. It's like melding and molding. So I feel like it's probably easier to be like hide the artist in like who you stole. You
of course, that's how they get away with it because they're like, well, we took fucking 30 small pieces.
Exactly. It's from all different people and we threw it together, you know?
So it's like,
Yeah. We're like, if music, if I sample it,
I hear the sample.
you hear the sample, you're like, that's not yours.
That's a sample.
That's a sample. Yeah. I'm telling you, I know you still don't think it, but AI is going to mess up, like, I feel like a lot.
Well, they have that already with like deep fakes, and not just like the sexual ones, but like there's
Just in
doing
general.
it for like
Yeah.
government politicians, officials that are like making statements on like
Didn't they say Mr. Beast had one about him?
Did he?
I think he said that there's a deep fake of him doing an ad for some company he never did an ad for.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like
That's
if
gonna be
some like
wild.
other country like that, it could.
They could use it.
It's like bootlegging to the extreme.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never done that ad. But that clearly looks like me.
Think about it. I wonder how much money and time and energy is going to be put into proving things that aren't real, like going forward.
Probably not because we don't care anyway. We watch everything scripted on YouTube and it's real.
No, but I mean, like, you sign your name to
Oh.
it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if all of a sudden, like, Katt Williams is shouting out, like, you know, I don't even know what.
Well, we don't read contracts anyway, so they'll take what they want.
I suppose. I just, you know, there's some, or to your point, like, if it's a political thing, like, that's dangerous. Like, that's like start war dangerous. Like, you know.
Okay, so in you saw the newest, or at least a couple episodes of the newest season of Black Mirror on Netflix.
No, I
Did
didn't
you
know
see
it's on
the
there yet.
Joan is awful?
Is it dope?
No.
I'm up to date, but not on the new season.
I haven't
obviously.
seen season
So
5,
it was like it's a really good season actually, except for maybe like 1 or 2 episodes. But like one of them is this like fake Netflix on there. It's because you sign up for Netflix and you know exactly what you said. We don't read end user licensing agreements. We encounter them all the time. But so this woman and then like there's a generative AI in one of the episodes where it uses
like
her
takes
likeness
her?
and it puts her like it reads her life and it makes it into an
Into
episode.
a whole episode.
And then she has this situation at her work, and then she goes home and she sees it on Netflix. But okay, so for the marketing campaign of this, random people were taken, like random Netflix users were taking, and so the episode is titled "Joan is Awful," and random Netflix users, like say Sean, there were random
Like screenshot?
random posters around the cities or around the world that say
Ooh.
Sean is awful with his picture on there.
What?
And
How'd they get it?
it was in the user agreement.
Holy
Yay!
shit.
He said it was in the user agreement.
And yeah, I mean, because
That's
like there's always parodies of that stuff, but this was like literally from
Whoa.
Because like, you know, this is also this is a system that's in place. It's like, you know,
Better start reading those
legal language is like
The
T's and C's.
intentionally
as
hard
they
to
say,
understand.
What, the legal jargon.
Yeah, like you're not going to get your lawyer to go through to read every
Facebook to see
every
if you
time
should
you
make
sign up for a new like
app.
service app. Like you're not going to get them to like, and that's
Dang, that's scary.
yeah. And so that's like, where is the line? Like we've probably like, yeah, we've signed up for Netflix. We signed up for all this other stuff.
We've given all the consent already. They don't need it.
Well, like
take anything else.
another thing from like for Zoom, you in the licensing agreement, you let the AI and algorithm read your speech, your image and likeness and stuff. It's used to learn and teach the system to get better, but it's like, to what end?
Like, that's how the phones do Siri. It's like it learns your voice better, so it learns how. Like,
so like the
stuff.
voice to text, like it learns that, and like this is like I said it before, but this is to the extreme. Like everything we've signed up for this stuff. Like we've signed away our humanity, and we did it so passively, so easily. Like this kind of has a common thread with like the Patriot Act, like where the government has the authority to like listen in on any phone conversation, any email, anything like we put out. And then like I had a class and I was like, that's not right. Like and then somebody had a counterpoint to say like, well, if you're not doing anything wrong,
what does it matter?
Then what does it matter?
Yeah,
you're not violating the law. But it's like, I
right feel
to privacy.
Violated.
Yeah, your privacy is being violated. But then it's like, oh,
you gave your privacy.
Yeah, you gave it away. And in terms of the Patriot Act, we didn't even sign up for it.
No. And every single president since then has only expanded and strengthened what they can do.
You don't
with
take
the
stuff
Patriot
away.
Act. Yeah, no, you
especially when it works.
The thing about privacy is like, I think what worked somehow is the idea that, well, there is no privacy anyway. So people started to be like, well, to that point, what am I trying to hide anyway? Well, they can see it anyway. But now it's like, oh fuck, they can really see. They can like literally just like boom boom and see.
Because people say
it would
like,
be the worst if they could like replay shit that you thought you got away with.
Did you ever see that Black Mirror one? Where like your whole life is always on being recorded, so it's
like a Minority Report backwards.
Yeah, so like if you're gonna do something like say hop on the airplane, they're like, all right, let's play back the last hour of your life or like the last day, where were you, and everything like that. And yeah,
that's something to watch. Like that new episode of Black Mirror. It's good.
Show.
It's thought provoking.
Yeah, I'll watch that for sure.
I don't subscribe to this conspiracy theory, but I enjoy it. Is that pretty much everything that you see in the media is telling you exactly what's coming, because it 100% has. From everything I've seen as a kid,
Skynet, we're in Skynet,
Minority Report, all that kind of stuff.
Matrix.
They have Matrix, like every single thing. I'm like, well, it's not like
Lion King,
Pixar's Inside Out,
Up.
I loved Up.
Wall-E,
Up maybe both.
Cars.
Cars didn't.
Cars
didn't pull my heartstrings like
Steve
Up.
McQueen.
I mean, it was good, but like, dude, Lightning McQueen. Yeah, different, completely different. But close.
McQueen of sort.
Yeah, no, but I mean, Up. The beginning of Up is like tear jerking crazy.
Well, to say too, like, this is like, I think this is already, people would agree with this, like. Things like this, expansions on our like privacy and what's it called? Right? Surveillance. Like, it's being pushed through because it's being tacked onto other bills. But then there's like, they put the war in Ukraine is like on the headlines every single day while this stuff slips under the rug. Like that's exactly what it is. Like that's I don't think that's a conspiracy. I think that's like
that's actually happening.
Plain as day, right in front of our faces.
That.
But we choose what to give attention to.
We are well aware that every time a budget goes through, any type of budget at all, there's always some shady or weird ass shit. But which one of us is reading the whole fucking budget? None of us are. Why? Because that gets in the way of my life.
No,
like,
because I don't really care. I just want to know about what the money. I want to know about where that's going.
We don't care until it happens to us.
Yeah. Well, that's like the whole idea of you chip away slowly. You can't go quickly. It's just like a sculpture. Like you can't chip away all quick, you're gonna fuck that thing up. But
That's what they want you to think. The Grand Canyon was invented or made in one day.
I mean, it wasn't.
I know.
But it was at least 3.
I think that was Midjourney.
3 years of erosion.
3 years. There's a lot of erosion, really quick. But yeah, I mean, the idea of like all of that is you go slowly, so no one actually notices, and this is always like the story. Like no one notices when they're, rights are being taken.
Baby steps.
Like that. It's baby steps. Yeah. Well, I can hear all the libertarians being like, "We told you so."
Well, like that's the whole thing with like how they try and villainize China. Like it's because it's like no, the United States wishes that they had that level of surveillance on them.
Yeah.
And they're banning like Chinese like manufacturers of technology because they want the market. They don't want China to have it.
That's the TikTok thing, man. That's the whole TikTok thing.
That is
which is
the whole
funny
TikTok
to me because
thing.
our like number one best pal is the most surveillance land in the world, I think.
Europe?
Yeah, London.
CCTV?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Like literally they don't have like
Any street corners.
street corner that's missed. Like, but that's okay because they
It's okay, ain't it?
Because they white.
I mean,
They speak the same language. And
I
they're
thought we ran away from them. Let them do what they want to do.
kinda.
Now we got an ocean separating us. It's fine.
Yeah, everything's good now.
Ocean's 11.
They're making a new one.
Oh,
It's going to be like the prequel because all we can do these day and age are prequels.
Retell the same story.
Yeah, it's the same
Rehashing
thing.
IPs.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Bernie was like one of the best parts of like those.
he was
Bernie Mac,
yes, he
100%.
was.
Yeah, and he would have been, I think, continuous, but he died.
passed away, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away. Like he was great.
The Bernie Mac show was hilarious. Way funnier than
Everybody
Steve
hates
Har-
Chris.
Everyone hates Chris was kind of funny though because Chris Rock wasn't in it.
Yeah, that's exactly what. I mean, like his early stand up, it was funny.
was fun,
but like,
yeah.
I don't think Chris Rock is that funny anymore.
He's not.
Oh, I thought he was real funny on his last.
The Heart and Rock.
Was that like the 2 year ago Netflix?
No, it was when him and Kevin Hart went on tour last year.
Oh, I didn't see no, but like 2 year ago Netflix one.
Industry plan, industry plan, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
I mean, he could be, but
Chris Rock was funny at a time though.
I guess it's too like maybe he still is
CB4,
funny,
like, that
but
was-
yeah. Like, but I stopped paying attention because I believe he's not funny. He might be funny still, but like,
I
Right
bet
now,
you
yeah.
he's funny.
he's probably a funny guy.
He's
Hang out with him.
Because he's smart. He's like I don't want to say it, but he like educated.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he's like Everybody Loves Raymond.
He's supposed to be hilarious.
Hey guys,
but
guys.
I never got into that.
I like that show.
Everybody
Was that
Loves
his real
Raymond?
brother?
No.
They kind of, they kind of look alike though.
Right, bud.
Yeah, right, man. He would talk like that. And the mom and dad,
What'd you think about Chappelle's new stand-up?
I loved it. I thought it was
Through and through?
Yeah, through and through.
Was it? I haven't seen it. Was it actually like stand up, or was it like
stand-up.
his kind of shtick that he's?
It's a stick.
It's stand-up, but because of the way he delivers things, because of the way he talks to the like Killing Them Softly, he wasn't talking to the crowd the way he does now. Now everyone knows him and he knows
He's
people,
talking to-
so
yeah.
he talks to the crowd. So it's always that. So it's kind of how he does.
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was funny, but the thing it made me think, and I was sharing this with Trey yesterday, it made me think that I've been like kind of co-opted in some way to like not think that funny things are funny. Because he makes this joke about the Titan sub, and it's fucking funny, and it's so simple, and it's hilarious. And I was like, "This, I should be thinking this is funnier." Like I was like, "This is fucking funny," but I should think this is funnier.
Like, that's just hilarious.
Welcome to your watery grave.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, I think with people like him, there's already a conversation of like Dave Chappelle doesn't like trans people, so there's already that whole thing going into it. So two sides to it. One side, he's going to make a joke about it because if he didn't, then he would lose, and you can't
let them win.
But like, truly though, if
you're standing on business,
if you're you're not. I don't
it's like
believe
Chick-fil-A ain't opening on Sunday.
but I don't.
ever.
Yeah, I don't believe he's actually trying to throw hate and malice.
No,
and
he's trying to
discontent.
stand on his principles.
Is it ignorant? Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Totally. Do I laugh at all the jokes? Hell no, I don't. But like, I think going into a Chappelle stand-up, you should expect that, especially if someone was making a commotion, he's going to then talk about the commotion. So like he does that. He drives it in a fucking hilarious way at the beginning because he's like, I'm not gonna talk about trans, and then he's like, I'm gonna talk about the disabled people, which is hilarious to me because no one really backs and that's what he says. It's like no one's trying to help or back the disabled people, and so like it for what it is. I thought
he laughs like the guy. He's like,
yeah. For what it was, I thought it was funny. I think I appreciate the idea he's trying to do, which I think what he really wants is an hour of time where everyone feels safe to be vulnerable and laughed at. I think that's what his dream world is. I don't know if it exists. I don't know if it's right, but I understand that that's what he's trying to do. Is like I'm not saying F these people. For an hour though, I like to make fun of everyone and have everyone be okay that I'm making fun of everyone. Which, like, I think that's always been his thing, honestly.
Low key, kind of.
But I do think maybe recently he's chosen to, like, specifically be like, you know, like, he doesn't make fun of just straight white people anymore as much. But he
or
did
black people.
But for, yeah. So I think that also kind of makes it like, you know, if you haven't watched him over, you know, the 3 decades or 2 decades, like, and you start watching him now, you might be like, damn, this dude's like
different,
mean. Like, you might think it is, but like,
it depends because I don't.
but because you've also watched him.
You know his arc.
But I think
if you saw him come out with this,
your reality though, some people would feel still he's a mean person. Now I don't think he's a mean person.
No, but what I mean is like if you saw if your very first introduction to him was this. And you were like, well, why isn't he talking about anybody else? Like, because you don't know the history of him. Like, that's
why does he have to? That's where we are now. Like, everyone either wants to be included or not talked about. And that's all. Like, I can't stand it, dude. Like, I really can't. And it's going to sound like an old person, but I really can't stand it.
Well,
You
I
do
would
sound
say,
like an old
like,
person.
with comedy, that's like the ideal. I think that's the intention of a lot of people. But I mean, there are a lot of comics that just go
on one specific.
Yeah,
thing.
and then it's like, oh,
Norm
like,
Macdonald.
Like trying to be funny,
shit.
but like it is hurtful and stuff.
Kramer.
A lot of comics are hurtful.
Kramer.
Yeah, and they're like
Never heard of them.
And they are at the expense of someone. But it's like you're getting like, I guess you could say, like low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
And but then I feel like it is kind of a comics are a barometer for like
climate of our social status.
Yeah, and like whether that's like
suppose.
You can't really say that that's good or bad because it's like certain words like. I think this was exactly what. Man, I'm referencing that interview so much. Like, I hope everybody's seen it. It was great. I thought it was great. It was like it was almost like a casual stand up thing, but it's like certain words were used, and then like they were hurtful, but then it's like, oh, maybe like we shouldn't say that anymore. Like he was saying, like you can't say certain words, but then there's ways around it, and it's like it's a little more like
you made
tasteful.
a very eloquent point at pointing that out too.
Yeah,
like,
and
you don't have to say. You could say this. We know what you mean. You could say this.
Yeah.
We know what you mean.
Yeah, totally. Which is, I think we've had this conversation a few times. Like you're educated. You don't have to use a specific word.
But that's why I like Chappelle. I don't feel like he ever says anything demeaning towards.
That's my point. That's my point. Is I'm saying I don't think he's out there trying to actually be hurtful, demeaning. Nothing. Mainly because his delivery. Nothing of his delivery makes me think like he's actually trying to tear people down or hurt them or anything like that. If you're offended by being the butt of a joke.
Maybe
then
you shouldn't be at a comedy special.
But you will also be offended. And that's also, I want to say that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you being offended, but just also look at it. Like look at the fact that like I am offended by this. Like it doesn't mean that he is trying to offend me or attack me. It means I am offended. And then on the other side of it, somebody can vocalize that and it's and Chappelle can hear it. And I kind of think this, like, to me, it sounds like he actually listens more than he puts on to. Like it seems like he takes in like,
well, yeah, that's
because he's not wilding out.
Those trans jokes, you could tell they were very well crafted. Like he took time and the way he was wording them to
not be hurtful,
to not
hateful.
be hurtful.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Like who is that dude? Andrew Dice Clay back in the day. I feel like
Well, that's just like, like his whole thing was like he's just
Yeah,
crass.
he's-
It's not
yeah.
really funny. He's just like
Yeah.
saying things that people aren't saying at the moment.
Was
Yeah.
Dane Cook kind of like that too?
Kinda, but he was
I
just,
don't
he
think
was just
so.
kind of like silly and slapstick
Yeah.
and like at the time, like I remember it was hilarious.
I think Dane Cook was stoner
first thing.
comedy. I
Yeah.
liked it. I remember him talking about breaking and entering, calling it B&E, and they're like, a bacon and eggs? I love bacon and eggs.
Yeah, it was just like
it's
it was
stoner
silly.
comedy.
Yeah,
It's
or
silly.
it was like bees, fuck bees and stuff, and it's like, but I think also what is the bane of some of comedy or like whatever, it's like it doesn't grow. It doesn't grow with like society because like what they were saying, like jokes that they were saying in the 80s. Yeah, you can't say that now.
Yeah.
It's just because if like people are doing things that people can't relate to, like or if it's talking a certain way, like it won't hit the same way.
I think I would love to challenge that idea, not your idea, but like the idea of you can't say things to you can, but you have to your point, you have to take the fucking fact that now you live in this generation. If you made a joke in the 80s, Eddie Murphy should probably not do his 80s stand-up that he like now.
But that he's
Or
known for.
Delirious.
Raw. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
yeah,
his
yeah.
legendary
Yeah,
stand-up
his
set,
legendary
like-
which is funny because I think everyone's brain who has an adequate full functioning brain goes, this is from the 80s. I can laugh at this. Like, I think that kind of fun. If you were to watch it right now, you would laugh, right? Like, probably.
Depends, because I watched that one Gene, what's his name?
Gene Wilder?
What was that movie?
Oh, we were
Blazing
talking about Blazing Saddles.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wasn't necessarily laughing.
No. That
Well,
shit's-
now I'm like,
that shit's crazy.
Oh shit, they
That's
got
a
away
little-
with that back
that
shit's
then?
shit's
crazy.
a little crazy.
Especially
I was
for
like,
Sidney
I
Poitier.
was
being
saying, I
like-
wasn't necessarily laughing, but I was just like, God damn.
yeah, that shit's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was like younger, I was like, this is funny, and then like, I watched it like I think like last year, and I was like,
It's like,
Which is
crazy.
wild because that was a Mel Brooks piece, and like he's a director out of that. So you kind of think like how directors used to drive movies. That was like that was all okay. That was all G, all good. I understand how old heads don't switch and they keep on going with the whole thing, and like how that gets people in trouble because like stuff that everyone was like, oh, this was okay back in the day. It's like, well, it probably was never okay.
I'm fine with vernaculars changing, society changing, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not fine with, it seems like right now this is going to be victim blaming because there's no victim right now. I feel like everyone...
thanks for the
Good.
trigger warning right there.
Yes, I feel like everyone takes offense to stuff feels like they are the only one affected, and their offense is the only offense to be felt, and they need to be heard.
Well, I think that's also like the kind of idea of individualism is so important in America, which is like it's like you would say it goes both ways. Like, yeah, people and like I want to be heard, and you have your right to express it, but then there's like there will always be people to rebut that or like say like talk shit, and it's like it's their right to like talk
And I
shit
feel
on
like
you, and
now
it's
we're
like
just
that's how it
with
is.
the, like whatever the masses is, everyone has to be on that side, or you're on the wrong side of history. Then
I don't know, because like the idea
feel
of
like
like
that.
being canceled and stuff, like it's not the same as like people like Matt Rife getting canceled. Like he's still playing, he's still
He
doing.
Yeah.
you can't
like-
cancel it anymore because
It
if you
doesn't
already-
exist.
Well,
It
no, but
doesn't
like,
exist.
but even like the
Yeah.
term has changed. Like you're canceled.
Right,
It's just
yeah.
like you're kind of like you're scolded publicly,
Yeah.
and then you just like get carried on, and
But
maybe you
that's
carry
why
a
there is
stigma
no
with you.
Cancellation, I think, in a mass sense, unless it's something like a Epstein or something like that, because we do live in these isolated individual pockets that are vast.
Well, I mean, that goes to his old.
People
I guess, piece
can
about
love Matt Rife
individuality.
and never have, and someone down the street could never have seen, heard
Yeah.
anything
Totally.
about him. You know what I mean? And that's where his fans are still going to fuck with it. People that get outraged probably didn't fuck with it anyway.
Well, there's people like
They weren't the ones that's supporting his life
like there's
anyway.
there's certain comics that are like they're gonna try and cancel me. It's like no,
weren't
you're just saying
supporting-
some
yeah.
shit. You're not funny. Like
They weren't the
but-
people you're offending. They weren't supporting you anyway. So
Yeah, and then like saying like I mean the language changes so fast. Like being canceled is a different thing than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
being like
Also, woke.
Woke is such a.
The only people that use the term woke are the people who think that the other side uses the term woke. Like, woke is like, if anybody uses the term woke, I look at them, I'm like, you might be like Republican racist, or you just,
if you're racist, just say you're racist.
I get a vibe from a person who uses the term woke, because I'm like, no one says that. Like, no one's out here being like, I'm a woke person.
But people were.
It's a label that's assigned, but not. No,
I suppose for a brief moment between 2019 and 2020 or something like that. But like, no one is saying like that, and I agree. Like, if you're getting truly canceled, it's because like.
It's probably real bad.
Yeah, you most likely deserve it.
Like
Like say
bad.
like Danny Masterson.
Real bad.
He's canceled, but like he
Correct.
deserved it.
Real
Like,
bad.
You're canceled because you're in jail for what you did.
Real
like,
bad.
Real bad. Yeah. Other than that,
we're not canceling because you said something funny that 1,000 people thought was funny and 1,000 people didn't think was funny. You're not getting canceled for that.
I think the veil of self-righteousness is leaving too.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea is like people want when I hear people get upset about things like, you know, they get like personally attacked very quickly and then they attack the other side of it and like they're like, you can't do this. There's a sense for me where I'm like, okay, there's some self-righteousness happening, and like generally I want to know is like, where is this coming from and why? But like, we can't have those conversations because those are deep one-on-one conversations where I should be looking you in the eyes. We should be having a conversation. We're on the fucking internet. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You're on the internet and all of a sudden you're popping off and stuff like that. I'm like...
And then all it takes is if 20 people agree or disagree.
And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I got this shit. You know?
That's all it takes.
Yeah. And then, you know, you get like 100 likes on your comment and you're like, you feel like chest out.
Yeah, I'm right.
I'm right. You know? And it's
right.
Talk to the other person, which is never going to happen. That's why I do think... in my ideal world is like people would actually think to themselves, like, am I even standing up remotely to the level of judgment that I'm passing on to this other person?
Well, okay, so you say this kind of veil of self-righteousness is leaving because you think people are having maybe more reliance on interpersonal communication to
I think it's exhausting. I think self-righteousness is exhausting, and it buries you further away from who you actually are.
But then
I think it's hard.
Isn't the level of isolation increasing for individuals though at the same time? So like,
I think isolation, but communication's expanding.
I don't know though, but it's all
that.
it's not, none of it is interpersonal. Like even if you're like DMing back and forth, it's not the same, you know?
No, it isn't the same,
You're
but
right.
that's how they feel like they're connecting with people now though.
I would say
Going outside when we were a kid is now hanging out on your phone, group chatting your homies.
Yeah, whether it's like you might be in person, but you're talking on your phone.
You could be,
but
you
or
would
you
be
could be out just at your respective.
We
like,
could be sitting all just like this, but talking like this.
Well, and like to answer your question, isolationism is up. Isolationism is up because we have more variables to isolate ourselves with, whether it be internet or it be, you know, weed in California makes it really easy for
I
people.
feel like it's bigger pockets of isolation. Like there's more islands now.
Like,
before there was like 3, but now there's like 5 million.
Well, and the reality is
islands.
every person is an island.
To kind of break down isolationism, you can be talking to people, you can be engaging people. It doesn't mean that you're not like actually like on a video game or whatever talking to people, but the isolation side of it is that like you are in your own silo, you know? So like with the self righteousness part, I think that people are losing the energy to keep up that fight of self-righteousness. So that's why you're not hearing the amount of vocalization that there was maybe like 4 years ago, where it's just like, I'm going to sink this person. This person is being like, they're canceled and I'm taking them down. People still say like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But you have so many stories coming out at one time. Like, how many people are actually going to put their energy into really trying to sink Matt Rife? Like, you know what I mean? Like that takes a lot of time and energy, and what's it called? Like calculated like efforts together.
Okay, so doesn't that lead? That's like mental exhaustion that
Yes.
will lead to resignation, but then that like level of apathy will just more go into depression and like further isolation.
Unless
there's like
100%.
unless there's courses that we were saying like behavioral changes. It's just going to lead to further. Maybe the self-righteousness is gone, but it's going to be more isolation and depression.
I get what you're saying about isolation. Yeah, we're more.
I would 100%.
There's more isolation, but there's, like I said, more little pockets. That's why there's more isolation.
I mean, I would 100% say that we are becoming more in the malaise. Like there's a greater sense of just like gray in the world because the amount of shock and awe that we've been given over our lifetime has definitely doled us out to the fact that certain things aren't as shocking or as awing, and you're not putting in that like that like.
So maybe we all got a little Gypsy Rose in us.
I would think so, man. Like honestly, but like. I really would, because like
see that coming.
Like talking about the self-righteousness part, like you have to think to yourself, if you're going to take someone down, that you have something to stand on, or
that you're right.
Yeah, to a degree, right?
To a degree,
to something like that.
More right than them.
But I also think in the past 4 years of from COVID to now, I think there's been I think there's been enough variables in everyone's life to make them exhausted about, and like, so what like take just living in Southern California and inflation and trying to buy a house and have a family and stuff like that while COVID also happened, while the whole presidential thing happened, and the whole Black Lives Matter happened, which seems to like also have disappeared in a sense. And I'm not saying it hasn't, but like the past 4 years, there was a lot of energy towards those things. I don't think that people are feeling like they have the same energy that they used to be like to be like, yeah, like I'm gonna take this person down. Like I think it kind of goes back to the terms and conditions. I'm not gonna read the terms and conditions. I'm gonna blow them right through them because I don't got the time for it.
So we're becoming more selfish?
No, just resigned. That was the word that you used.
So like I guess you could say a bit of a paradigm shift to say like maybe, and I feel like this comes with age. It's more like, I think for younger people that would just lead to like maybe depression. I mean, definitely in older people too, but maybe as you get older, it's kind of like
different.
Yeah, and you're like, I realize where I should put my energy more.
I am very interested into seeing in the next 20 years what depression looks like for the youth, because
it either exists or it doesn't.
Not I don't mean like that.
No, but I do though. Like it'd be either crazy bad.
No, it's not gonna.
Or it'd be so low.
No, so here's the thing. Depression's been around forever. I really attack a lot of like the self-help, like think kindly and happy people, because it's fucking bullshit.
Like the toxic positivity.
Any of that, or any people that think that depression is like a new thing. Like if you look back at history, our favorite artists all were depressed. Every single.
I don't think it's new. I think the way we adapted to it is. This is a newer adaptation to depression.
So there's more vocalization and labeling of depression. Still, I know a lot of people that are depressed that have no fucking idea that they're depressed. They're just like, I'm gonna tough through this. I'm gonna fucking do the thing. I'm like, yo, the reason why, like the negative part about from your side,
is depression negative?
No, it's not. But the negative part of what you were saying is, when we start throwing these cereal box psychologies on the internet of like people are depressing, it's really easy for everyone to be like, I'm depressed,
self-identify,
and have no idea what to do with it. The other side, the other side is, if I see you're depressed, it would be good for you to know not that you're depressed, but what to do for the emotional state that you're in, because depression is a normal thing. Everyone gets depressed. I don't care if you don't call it depressed or not. It literally is just feeling down, feeling low.
And that's more where I come from. It's something that's normal.
It's completely normal. If I met somebody that said that they've never been depressed, like, you're a liar. Like, you're tripping.
And that's more what I mean
when
I come from and I say, it's like, I feel like the way we deal with depression on a mass society level is
I still don't like how we do it because we have we have months
great.
of saying it's mental health month, and then we have like influencers be like, you should care about yourself. I'm like, yo, that doesn't do anything. Like, honestly, you're not.
It's more paranoia.
100%. Like, if you're saying you should care about your mental health, it's making all your followers think that you're fine and that you don't have issues. You're not sharing any of your issues. You're not sharing how you move through these experiences or that they're normal. And so for the majority of people, which I'm talking about, like that separation between younger and older, the youth, I feel like they've been bombarded with this idea that there's a like that somehow depression doesn't exist.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
well, I would really almost say like the older generation has been conditioned to also think that depression doesn't exist.
Yeah,
in a different way.
Correct, they do. That's why you also have a lot of people with their older now that they're like, oh my god. I'm having a hard time.
Dude, like I feel like the coping mechanisms were different.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe bad, maybe positive. I don't know, but coping mechanisms seem to be different for it before.
I mean, every generation has a coping mechanism because it's given to them. Older generation, though, the highest level of divorce in the United States is the ages of 60 and older. It's the highest level. They get divorced because emotionally the people realize that they haven't talked about anything. They're not connected. There's no clarity around it. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that people realize, oh, for the past 20 years of my relationship, I've been anxious about not being able to speak about this or do this or feel like this. Oh my God, ever since this happened with our child, I've been so hella depressed. And so that's now with the older generation, they're being able to say, okay, these are those feelings. With the newer generation, everything's depression. And everything's depression. And there's this view of being like, well, if I make enough or I do enough or I get to that point, then somehow I'm not going to be depressed. And it's like, you have to get to the point where you realize you're going to be happy in life and you're going to be depressed in life. You're going to have joy and you're going to have sorrow. And I feel like that's where where we fuck up as a society the most is like, we're not like setting people up with the idea. It's like, emotions are emotions. You're going to feel them. And let me give you tools to actually like work with them.
Yep.
Straight up.
Well, I mean, it's like, that's what I always, it's like, that's how I look at life. Life isn't, and we always theorize of how it could be easier, or different, or better for more people. You know what I mean? But I always have to go back to, it wasn't, at least, it doesn't seem like it was ever designed to just be peachy for everyone.
I agree.
So we cannot just pretend like, well, because I'm alive and I feel this way and I shouldn't. No, that's life.
Totally. So there's like, I would say separate the sense of like feeling. Feeling has nothing to do with where we are as a society. Like, no matter what you do, you're going to have feelings. There is the basic common decency of human rights, humanity, where we now have gotten ourselves to such a point where, like how we've spoken about, we could feed everyone. We could give everyone healthcare. We could give everyone housing. It's like those things we can do. Those things can happen. But if someone thinks that just because you have those things, you're going to be happy, you are sadly mistaken. And I think as a society, we pretend like that exists. Or just because
you can do those things that it will happen?
Yeah. I know we're running out of time. I did want to, because Josh said that earlier about New Year's resolutions. I did want to break it down. If we can, we don't have to do it right now.
Let's go. We can. Let's go. Let's go.
Let me break it down.
Succinct.
Okay.
Let's hear some tips.
So this kind of follows exactly what we're on right now. We're talking about like basically thinking and mental awareness and how you work it. So I was saying last episode why they don't work. Why most people will build or will say out loud their New Year's resolutions and they won't work. I want to say how you can make them work. First things first.
You want to be positive.
I was going to say a dose of positivity.
Yeah.
That's what we all need these days.
So first thing first, if you want your New Year's resolution to work or any resolution or any goal, you have to set a clear goal. And what I mean clear is you have to say exactly what you want. Not like this thing of like, I'm going to exercise. Like, that's not clear. I'm going to read, not clear. I'm going to write, not clear.
Feel singled out.
You have to be very clear. So clarity allows you to focus on what.
I was like, what was that?
Little aria. Clarity allows you to focus on what your efforts are. So, like, for instance, if you want to work out, say, okay, I want to exercise. Well, what do I want to exercise? I would like to exercise 3 days a week. Okay, 3 days a week. What's that look like? I want to exercise 3 days a week, an hour a day on those days, and 3 different focuses, back, shoulders, whatever. You have to be extremely clear. Our brains work on the focus. So when you're more clear and you give greater effort to what you're doing, you're telling your brain, this is what we're focusing on. The less clear you are, it's the more clouds that you can fall into. Second thing, you need to break the goal into steps. If you're saying something like, I am going to read a book. I want to read a book a month. You want to break down the step. You say, okay, how am I going to do that? I got to pick the book. That's one thing. I also need to set time up for that. How am I going to set that time up for? Every Wednesday night when I brush my teeth, after I brush my teeth, I am going to read the book. You need to break it into steps. You can't just say to yourself, like, I'm going to hit the gym, because there's no step to that. You're trying to force something into space where it's never been before. So if you have a big goal, divide it into small, actionable steps. Not just actionable steps, but ones that you can clearly, easily complete. If you're going to make, if you're cooking new food, don't try to fucking do a flambe if you've never done that and you don't have the tools for it.
Flambe.
I say flam.
Say theater.
Just like theater. Just like theater. Yeah. I love this wording, and it's what I'm sticking to for the new year. It's simplicity fosters progress. Second thing, the next thing.
SFP.
Start small.
It's real close to SCP.
Right?
Yeah. Start small, because starting small allows you to build a habit. You have to realize that you're building a new habit. You can't just think to yourself, because I say it's going to happen, because that habit's not there. You're planting a seed. You have to water it. It needs the sun. It needs to grow. So you begin with manageable steps. Consistency builds habit over time. I love this idea. If you're saying you're going to start running, I had this coworker who was like, I'm going to run 3 miles a day. I'm like, that's great, but you never ran before. So let's start with consistency. Let's have you just, for 5 minutes a day, for 2 weeks, put your shoes on, go out for a walk, and come back every single time you get home. If you're home at 5:30, you're going to leave, you're going to walk, you're going to come back. You're going to do that for 2 weeks. Your brain's now learning that when you get home at 5:30, that's your time to leave the house and do your thing. Now you've built a habit on getting out of the house without having to run. If you haven't run for a long time and you try to run every single day, your body's going to get worn out, and your body's going to be like, yo, there's no habit to be built here. I don't want this. And that follows the next thing, track your progress. Like, you have to track your progress on a regular basis. And the reason why you do that is because some things aren't going to work. And you have to look at those things that aren't going to work. And you have to be able to take those things and then build upon them, which is learning from your setbacks. So tracking if you do like a journal, you write down like, today did 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I didn't use my AK, whatever.
Building is a habit. Put it
yeah. No, but you have to track your progress, because your awareness will, over time, strengthen your habit. And also, whatever you start with is not going to be what you end with. You have to be okay with the fact that whatever you're trying, it's not going to always work. So that's why you have to adjust where it's needed, right? Like, I can tell everybody this podcast takes a lot of adjusting where it's needed. Like, and we still are, and we still have to. Sure. And whatever that you want to do, you have to adjust where it's needed, which then takes you to the next part. If you're following what you're doing and you're adjusting where you need it, celebrate your small wins. So if you're going to set something up, I could say this every single day, celebrate your small wins. Most people won't do it. You have to bring that into the part of it. If you're not, any new habit that your brain's taking on, you are pushing off the gratification. It's down the line. It's not right now. So if you don't celebrate your small wins, your brain will become fatigued on the fact that you're not getting any gratification. Celebration gives you gratification. If you
like no realization of progress.
yeah, like if you were to be like for the because this is the first week, right, of New Year's, if your thing was like I want to exercise, if you exercise for 5-10 minutes every single day, to a gym rat, that's nothing. And if you try to measure yourself up to a gym rat, you're going to feel like, wow, I didn't do anything. If you try to measure yourself up to anybody that's bigger.
There are people, too, they're gym enthused. Yes.
No rats. Gym enthused.
Yes.
Gym frequenters.
Frequenters.
But you're not where that they are. And so, you have to measure where you are. If you go 5 days in a row, that's something to be celebrated. If you showed up for 5 minutes. And then really the last thing is like, when you follow what you're doing, there's a sense of persistency that you have to have. Now, let's say, for instance, you set a goal and you're trying to stay on top of it and it's just not clicking. Then you have to ask yourself, do I really care about this thing? Do I really want this thing? Or am I trying to do this because some outside factor makes me feel like I want to do this? Am I trying to get, this is always the easy one to go to. Like, am I trying to get ripped and look huge because I want it? Or is it because I think it's going to do something for me? And if it's not because you want it, if you don't feel the persistency, if you don't feel the drive, then you have to ask yourself, okay, maybe I don't want this. And then what is it that I do want? So it's not the fact that you set up. It's not the fact that New Year's resolutions don't work. It's the fact that most people go into them without any preparation. And any reality of what it actually is and how long it takes and what it looks like to set to set a new goal or to achieve a goal, and then they fail. And then after and failing's okay, but what happens is you keep on going in the same pattern, you keep on going and attacking the things the same way, and after 5, 10, 20 times of doing the same thing, now your habit is you think that you can say, oh, I'm just going to do it.
Habit is failure.
Well, that's what it is.
Habitual.
Yeah. And then you just keep on like humans have this thing where we think that we have more control over our brains than what we actually have, and we
I got all the control.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. So I mean, take with what you want from that, but it's not if you really, really want to make something happen, go through what I just said, make sure you're hitting the majority of the points, and do it with patience, compassion, grace to yourself. And also be very cognizant of the image that you have in your head of what it's looking like, because it's probably not going to actually ever look like that. It's not bad to have an image. It's good to shoot for that, but you can't hold yourself to that where it's like, if it's not that, then you're failing, because that will make you stop instantly. That's going to be about $300.
That will be its own Patreon
you guys
gift
can
right there.
Cash App, there's Zelle. Yep. You have any questions?
I was going to say you should have made the acronym into SCP somehow.
I was thinking of how you can make it to that.
What does it stand for again?
Simplicity fosters progress.
Simplicity
SFP.
creates progress.
Wow.
The SCP method.
The SCP method.
Copyright.
Throw M in there.
I couldn't look
Maturation.
at myself in the mirror if I had my own. This is the SCP process.
I think that would be like,
I hate those fuckers.
You've come what you hate, John.
I know.
to the club.
I know.
you live
Become what you hate.
you live long enough to become the villain, and that's something to be celebrated.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
I'm sure you've
club.
you've always relished that role.
I have.
And in essence,
I've been waiting for all my friends to get here.
in essence,
Finally.
you're accomplishing your goal.
Slowly, like you said, baby steps.
So I believe 100% that we all and you all and you can do what you
you
shoot out for, because we were talking about this last week. I believe 100%. I'm not shooting down the fact that people have New Year's resolutions and shit, but do it in a way that sets yourself up for success. I don't want to see people fail. That's why I think I get so passionate about it, because I get really sad because it's really easy to like say you're going to do something and then something doesn't happen, and then you use it for the rest of your life, for the rest of your days, something like that. I'd be like, well, I didn't do it that time, so of course I didn't do it this time, but next time will be different, and it's just the same story again. Like,
And you wake up dead.
Well, you don't.
what? You woke up dead?
This shit right here. This shit called dead.
Oh man!
No, you wake up deaf. You can't hear it. You
Like
can't
you
hear
can't
shit.
hear shit.
Who? What? yeah.
Who ate the cocoa? What did he say? The cereal?
The Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my-
Someone did eat your Cocoa Puffs, baby.
I don't even know who did that.
Knowing damn well you done ate them.
You ate all those cocoa puffs. Well, I mean, I love this episode. This was great. That's all I got.
Any parting nuggets of wisdom? Anything?
I'm praying for Gypsy Rose's recovery.
Monarch's a pretty good show. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, that's the show I'm watching right now.
I saw something about Yellow Jackets. Need to watch it.
Courtney and Nufo, shout out. Binged the whole first season. They said I was right. They loved it. So
See, you just needed two people telling me it was right.
Yep.
Look how big it just got.
Look at that. Look at that validation.
Look at them.
Took two people.
He loves it.
Let's just sprinkle some crack on him. and
Those were
get
great.
out of here.
Open shut case.
See, that's why it's a classic.
Open shut case.
Baby, go home.
All right, take us home.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for all the likes, comments, and subscripciones.
We've been trying harder.
Yeah,
We have.
we're
It's
making
showing.
some progress in the new year.
29 up to 29 on audio.
There we go.
Getting
baby.
getting there.
Yup.
We're trying some new formats. Thanks everybody for taking a view at those. You know, shout
Appreciate it,
out all y'all, and shout out to you, Trey. Shout out Sean.
Shout
You know,
out both
always
you guys,
coming through with
Love you guys.
the love and effort and acceptance that we need every week to keep doing this. Also, shout out Tiff. Happy birthday!
Ooh,
Shout out
tomorrow?
Jen. Yeah, tomorrow.
Feliz nueve cumpleaños. Mi
Tonight
amigas.
is I missed it last night, but it's Poison the Well is playing
Shut
the
up.
Observatory.
What?
I remember
Observe
we
tonight?
were. Yeah, no,
Tonight,
we were.
Observatory. You
we
could
were-
go. Tickets are
What?
still. If you want to scuttle home,
Bro,
you can
I
get a
might
ticket.
go. I might.
At the
Oh, okay.
Observatory?
So Neil, Phil, Bill,
They're going.
Dearest Jen,
All going?
Josh. They're all going. So you know.
Where is it at? The observatory's.
OC?
Where is that off of?
Santa Ana. Ooh, I don't know.
55.
So tickets are
Yes.
off 35 bones.
What?
Gotta go.
So they're playing. They're doing.
It's
Is it Tear from the?
anniversary, yeah.
Or no,
No,
You
the-
Come Before
You Come
You.
Before You.
They're playing the album in the entirety. So
That's is that.
Ghostfire and such.
Ooh, in every
Yeah.
corner.
In every corner.
Stop before you.
All right.
Hey.
Yeah. So maybe these boys will be going to the show tonight. Maybe Neil. Maybe he'll see you there. See you in the
Yeah.
pit.
I'm gonna look at the map, see how far away.
It's not close.
It's Orange County.
Yeah.
No, I know, but like away from home. Like if
You
I
just
were
chill
to-
at his house.
You could.
It's a Saturday. You got
things
time to
to
play.
do. I gotta
That's true.
edit.
You just got to run real hard tomorrow.
know.
Run it. Run it up. Run it up. All right. Well, I am at Dearest Rat on Instagram.
At Doja the producer.
At Sean Corey Pickering, hit me up for all of your.
You notice Sean's verified?
I am verified.
It's because he knows Elon.
I am.
All right. You can.
Look at
You
him.
can
It's because my whole name's on.
One verification in his chest pumped up.
listen to all his
Been
recommendations
there for a
now.
few weeks, bruv. I've been there for like a month.
Well, there we go. We got one verified member on here. You can catch us on all the social
Oh no,
platforms.
I've noticed. I've been waiting to just say.
At Almost Never Pod on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Apple and Spotify. We're catching up there. We're coming for you.
Coming for you.
Yeah, listen. You guys added anything to this January playlist?
Yep.
Okay, hit up this playlist. Like let's put
I
it
got
out
some
there.
dope West Coast rap on there.
It's It's fire. My
West
friends,
Coast
it's
rock.
fire.
310 baby. Yep.
It is weird without the headphones because I can't hear how loud I am.
Oh, you just got to trust in yourself, Sean.
Trust the process.
It's a lot.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.